steep. But given the time gaps were non-existent at that point, it was it really didn't matter so much. When we went on the climbs, the biggest climbing day to date up till we're setting off today, he took the win. So I think he's definitely a force to be reckoned with in the race at the moment. We'll have to see. Packs on the road at the front of the race and more riders behind them. The run into, I think for me, this is separating out the riders who are racing for the jerseys and the lead. They're in Group 1. And forgive me if I get this wrong, if you're one of our riders. The riders who are racing, but not necessarily right up there on GC or one of the competitions in Group 2. And those riders just trying to survive maybe in Group 2 and 3.
Yes.
I think,
but there are mini battles going on out there.
Oh yes, and I'm not disrespecting anybody who's in battling for a position elsewhere, who's maybe not in Group 1 and 2. But I think this is about making sure that you don't go too hard too early here for a lot of riders now. You know, we're talking riders are into their 5th, 6th, 7th hours of racing here. It's some riders now going into their 9th hour of racing, and that is a lot of hours in the saddle, and there's a lot of climbing to come.
There is, and all I can say is that those riders who are you know, riding and not at the front of the racing, they're doing an absolutely amazing job. You know, they're with a community that I hope is really supporting them. And I know I've actually, you know, you can see the chats, you can see the comments, you can see the conversations going on social media. People are reaching out to each other, people are helping each other. I understand some of the women on the Discord chats when the men's are racing, keeping the men riding, keeping the men racing.
Oh, brilliant.
You know,
and vice versa.
And vice versa. There's a real community out there right the way across, not just within the teams. Ola Warren back on your screen at the moment. He's back on the pedals at the 4.7 kilometre
for
marker.
a reason.
Yeah, because that first sprint is at 5.1 and Warren will want to pick up those points today. Fager, I think, helping Warren out here. So they might...
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think that, well, they're both part and parcel of the level community.
Oh,
you know, they might not be on the same squad, but they are both within the same level racing community. So Fager giving Ola Warren a little bit of a lead out there, but yeah, it was indeed the push for the line. Talking about, there you go, Warren picks up the 5 points. But talking about the team competition just briefly, BMC 6 still leading that competition. Level titanium, level Kevlar, level steel, that level community right at the top of the tree.
Okay, let's bring you the confirmed results on your screen as they come in through the line there. It is Vladislav Bedonia who just pits Warren on the line, going over the line. They're taking the 5 points. Ola Warren taking 4, Jonathan Fager taking 3, De Silva taking 2, and Quickstrom taking 1. The rider missing from that picture is Rune Nielsen. So as they continue onwards, we are going to see whether Warren can make his way over the top of the climb with the leading group to score even more points. Jonathan Fager, again, another rider who I'm expecting to see up there. What do you think the chances of Warren making it over the climb are?
I actually think they're quite good. I think, you know, Ola Warren is riding really strongly at the moment, and it's, you know, it's all about how his legs and his head are feeling.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's going to really come down to how you go, and a good day or a bad day may be coming. Now, Category 5, Lucas Petter leading out the competition in Category 5. The rider with a gap of 11.5 seconds back to Luke Kendall. Interesting, because Petter had a win on stage 1, a 4th place on stage 2, and a 3rd place on stage 3. Kendall and Thornton moving around, with Thornton dropping from 2nd down to 3rd, Kendall going from 4th to 2nd, Spratt going from 2nd to 4th. But the time gaps here, Emma, they're almost in blocks, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. But you know what? 3 minutes separates the top 26 riders on GC at the moment in Category 5. That is, you know, that's a big group of riders all in contention. But you are right, there are blocks, and I think that's what's really interesting. You know, even if and when you scroll down, you know, you get to 40th place, Bruno Silva, 10:17, 10:19 is Francisco Barria, 10:25 Johan Roas. Diaz is there as well. There's a block of riders, and it's like that all the way through the peloton, you know, as you scroll through the results.
Now, Luke Allport just has been holding up the, has been keeping the table together at the base, but he has been deposed from his Lanterne Rouge position by 6 minutes. So at the moment, Luke Allport not on the base of the standings. Lucas Petter at the top. Nice Fossio was the man on the top of the podium, though, taking away the sprint win, but not contending really in GC at the moment. I think today's going to be about making sure he gets through ready for the last 2 stages. Kendall in 2nd place, Petter in 3rd. Juan Rojas picking up the most points in the sprint competition, and the most points in the climbs competition going to Gravescu. 18 seconds. Well, not even that. We're in 15 seconds and counting to race start. This is the start of Category 5, heading out on to the course. Who has got the climbing, pedaling ability to pedal the way to the top? Who's going to be stomping and smashing and going nowhere fast? When we get to the climbs, it's time to find out. 3 Category 1 climbs, 45 points available today in the climbs competition, and our traditional man who goes off like he's been fired out of a circus cannon. Indeed, he's got the helmet on for it as well. I didn't know that was coming. Joao Manuel Machado has set off with
like
the
he's on a motorbike.
It's what you would wear if you're going to be fired out of a circus cannon. Good to see. He can't see where he's going on the course. Joao, honestly, thank you so much for making us laugh here in the commentary box. I don't blame you for not leaving that on for long. At the moment, he is motor pacing the bunch off the
He's
start.
a rider really enjoying his riding and racing at the moment, and really enjoying, you know, being part of the community on the MyWhoosh Championships, and he's leading them out of the pen. We're going to stop giggling and start commentating again.
No, don't bother. Love it. It is part of what makes the community on cycling esports. You wouldn't see that with your on a road stage or down at the track. People are just far too serious.
I know. Have you seen some of those time trial helmets?
Well, that is true. Good point, Reg. Right, let's drop in with Leonard Greg Cadabona, the man who is leading in the GCC competition. So, Leonard, well done, buddy. They're doing a great job leading that competition out in the GCC.
And he's got the Fire Flame jersey on today, so I'm wondering whether that means the flames are going to need underneath his pedals on those climbs.
Indeed, the nearest rider to him is Rod Loxley, then Mac Lenador.
It's not a big
in
gap.
that competition, it's 46 seconds between Loxley and Cadabona. I think this is going to be an interesting battle. Is a polite way of putting it, as we see Category 5 still continuing to rocket the way down here. I'll tell you something, whereas Category 6 was maybe a little bit smart, Category 5, they've gone off like a bunch of junior riders, to be fair.
Well,
you know, not necessarily the expected start?
Well, Lucas Petter on your screen at the moment, he's in that golden leaders jersey, but he's also leading the Masters competition, the over 45s. So Petter, the gap back to Luke Kendall in second place is just 11 seconds. So there's really strong competition here. Like, there really is strong competition here because a number of other riders not too far back. Now, Luke Allport is doing an Allport. He is Allporting off the front of the group. He's absolutely laying it down here on stage number 4 of the MyWhoosh Championships. Chapeau, sir.
Definitely, but you can see, I think the problem for Luke with all porting is you need a set amount over the bunch to go clear. And now that the bunch is of the scale and size that it is, the amount of differential has increased. So, if you're just trying to all port off the front with a big bunch, it's much harder. Now, look at this. Andre Gravescu, our leader in the young riders competition, is now having to try and get back into the wheels here as they come up around this little bend and onto the rise here. So the Romanian rider at the moment just losing a little bit of ground.
Yeah, it is indeed. And Diaz as well off the back of the group because the push and the punch is on here. They're going to drop down into this next small descent before the rise and the sprint. But Laszlo is on the front here. And this is all about that sprint, I think. Mazaros versus Joel Warren. They are so close on points. It is 38 points to 35. Luke Kendall in third place with 22. Christoph Laszlo in fourth place with 21. Those 4 riders still in the mix. Juan Roas, who took a lot of points yesterday, sat in 5th place with 13.
Well, it could be doing some serious damage. The Spratt goes on the front here to the chances. I was just looking at this in the context of the youth competition. Gravescu has a 9-minute 43-second lead over Barrier. All the rest of the riders are that plus more behind him. But if Gravescu gets distanced early on the stage, he's in trouble, as we see Nicholas Spratt go for a long one. I think there's 2 things going on here. We've got a lot of riders at the front of the race going, I'm not making it over the mountains. For me, today's race is about getting to 5.1 kilometers in the sprint banner. And then it's about survival, and it's an A and B section. It's like the first part and then the rest of it. So they're racing. This is their chance to race. Nicholas Spratt doesn't fall into that category, yet he's gone off the front. Is he going for the world's longest breakaway? I mean, why go so hard so soon?
That's a really good question. And
why there?
Well, yeah, it is a really good question, but I'm wondering whether the answer is in the
Moose and team competition.
Well, I'm looking, Nick Spratt is part and parcel of the virtual velocity with Rod Loxley, Miguel Fio, Leonard Cadabona. They are, where are they? They're currently leaders in the team competition. And I think maybe they want a split in the group. But, it's not like the first climb isn't coming up at the 7.3 kilometre marker. And with it being 5.7k in length, you'd naturally think that would be where the split is. Well, Joel Warren now going on the attack on the front here. He's going second in the sprint competition. Well, I think he's aiming for better than second.
He certainly is. I think this is a win-win-win for Joel Warren. Warren's going to pick up big points here in that sprint competition. There's only 3 points between Mazaros and Warren coming into today's stage, and Joel Warren is going to go clear. Mazaros just starting to move up behind. He's up into 5th. He's up into 4th. He's looking to move up, but he has got some work to do to go around last. Now he does that now. They were separated by 3 points. I think there's going to be a 2-point differential in the points scored here. Warren is going to take away the maximum points he can. He's put Mazaros under pressure. That's bonus number 1, in addition to taking away the sprint. But also at the back of the group is the leader of the youth competition under pressure. Bearing in mind, Joel Warren is currently sitting in 4th place in the youth competition, in the under-23s.
Yeah, so lots of different competitions in play, as well as GC and the stage racing here today, whether it is the individual days that you are targeting or the overall competition. Warren from Mazaros, from Lopez, from Kubiak, from Theme. Those are the riders picking up the points in that sprint competition, but the push is on, Take a look at that. Nick Spratt actually is just off the back of the group. I've just seen the polka dots. Well, there they are, going back into the group. And after that action on the front, he doesn't want to be one of the riders to get dropped off the back.
And that's the problem, isn't it? You go hard, you go too deep, you go put in a TV time attack. You know, that's pretty much the only thing I can think is it's going for TV time off the front of the race early. That you then, when the main bunch come in and they come in at pace, you mistake the reattach speed to get back onto the group, and then you end up in trouble. Category 5, just making the way away from the sprint towards the climb, which is where we find that the Category 6 leaders. Matt Smithson leading out on this climb. Brent Gibson immediately behind him, and they are on to the climb at 10 kilometers at the moment, so halfway up there.
2.7k to go for them on that climb as we drop back down into the start pen for the Category 4 riders.
We certainly do. Ryan Giuliano leading in the overall competition in Category 4. It was an 8th place on the stage for him, but he held on to that race lead. Unger, the nearest challenger, only coming in 14th position. It really was not a lot of change in the GC until you go a long way down. No big movers more than sort of, a handful of places really, pretty much throughout the race field until you get to like 45th place.
Yeah, well, 3 minutes separating the top 25 riders on GC. So again, quite a lot of riders still very close together. There's a couple of really strong riders, quite a longer way down GC than you think. Marvin Angarita, who took the win yesterday, lying 42nd on GC. But that possibly gives them the opportunity for a bit of an attack. But it does mean that a lot of the other riders need those calculators ready and handy, and they also need a copy of the overall GC results to know what's going on. It's not like you've got well, some of them might, but it's not like you've got someone in your ear giving you time checks and information.
Let's move to the winners yesterday. The people who scored big on stage 3, the biggest of all was, of course, Marvin Angarita's win in the stage, taking that sprint charge from the back of the group to the front, catching a group of 4 riders, including Arago and East. He went past them in the final few meters to take the win by 0.458 of a second from Arago and 1.529 from East. Sprints points winner on the day. The big sprints points winner was Pino coming through to take that. And I think the sprint today at the first sprint line is going to be absolutely critical.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because Aidan Sinclair is still leading that competition with 38 points to Pino's 31. But Aidan Sinclair is also leading the King of the Mountains competition with 42 points to Juan Restrepo's 24. Sinclair has been absolutely dominant in those 2 competitions over the first 3 stages. Number one, I'm wondering how the young rider's legs are, because he's also leading the young riders competition. And as you can see, look at all those jerseys.
3 jerseys, and you can see them alongside his name on the nearby list on the right-hand side. Pino with just the 1 jersey beside him.
There he is.
Aidan Sinclair on our screens. Hopefully the legs are going. It's got the map on the side. He's indicating that it is up and down today. It does mean that if he wants, I think the effort he puts in today is pretty much the same effort for all the competitions he's battling in here. Because you've got to manage your sprint effort through those to go big on the climbs, as we see Giacomo Natari on the front, dialing it from the start.
It is
absolutely brilliant.
He is the coach and sport director for one of the UAE team Emirates squads, often working with the development team, but he also works with the World Tour team. You'd think he knows about going off the front of a bike race.
Anyone would think that that's a habit made by a certain rider riding for the UAE XRG. I'm not going to give you any spoilers on the Tour de France, because for the very first time, I think in my life, I have not watched a minute of the Tour de France.
You've been a bit busy, haven't you?
Been a bit busy. And what is it that's taken me from that? It is the competition that we see unfolding here.
More than 1 stage race going on at the moment.
And you're watching the best one. This is at the moment, because it is Francis Pino. I wouldn't dare talk about the Tour de France in such terms, honest, Gov. This is Francis Pino, who we are in with at the moment, our GCC leader, heading out on to the course. And Pino, of course, as we know, battling that out. So we saw previously, it's Clinton Dave Cirillo who's battling with. That gap still 146. That's nothing today.
Well,
we know that.
Do you know, pretty much like we were talking about in one of the women's competitions, they're on the same team. So it's teammates having a battle about a competition within a competition. I quite like it.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good when that happens. Let's go into our Masters competition here today, because we're going to go in with Andrew Rushmore of the Level Golden Four squad, who at the moment has the mighty lead, the mighty huge lead, 32 seconds. It's nothing. Nelson Schneider with the lone bike is right beside him. 2 minutes back, Carsten Mayer. 4 minutes back, Graham Pearce. 7.5 minutes back, Jose Rodriguez. Only 4 seconds behind him is Eduard Caro. I'm loving the battle at the moment. Last man on the overall Masters competition in terms of the GC is Evan Schwartz.
Yeah.
Not often you get to say that about Evan. He's usually the first, but he's at the moment sitting in that Lantern Rouge position. Now, we are at the 2.5 kilometre marker. We are in with Aidan Sinclair. We're going to see quite a lot of him on our screens because he is our young rider, the under-23, the Espoirs competition. In this competition, he's ahead of Matteo Pino. So, not Francis Pino, Matteo Pino by 15.400 seconds. And that is not huge when we come into our climbs. Tapia in third, Batty in fourth, Cabani in fifth. A real battle in that under 23 competition in category 4. We're just in with Willem Thuft along with Giacomo Natari. Natari pulling Thuft out from the bunch to put this little attack over this slight riser at the moment. They're going to be into the downhill, and look at this Ebenschfort proving that it doesn't matter where you are on GC, you can get to the front of the race and get TV time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Eben. I'm trying to work out if you're Eben's riding in South Africa. I think they're actually on the same time zone as we are in Europe, if I remember correctly.
So, yeah, he is. He's giving you a thumbs up. It's very, very true. So it is like around 1:45 where he is in the afternoon. So Ebenschfort doing the business in the afternoon, pushing onto the back of these 3 riders. And they are indeed doing the work at the front of the race.
Really interesting. It's very coincidental because I was actually talking about my co-host, the expert who I have sat in the hot seat in the downhill, who's South African as well, for the World Downhill Championships. That was just this morning.
There you go.
Yeah, South Africa's got a real strong history and of commentators and hosts as well.
Yeah, has indeed. Yeah. Well, Category 6 at the moment have got a real good history of being the first riders to the top of the climb because they're the first riders out of the pen. They are doing the business right now. That is the polka dot banner at the 13-kilometre mark, and that is Ivanov, the rider in the polka dots. So he's got him on his back. Vikström is going to try and challenge him for the points. I don't think he's going to get there. Ivanov's going to go underneath the banner and pick up 15 points. But Sateri Vikström is really on his wheel, and there's a big push behind. Zimmel is in the mix as well, and we're going to take a look and we're going to see who comes through. I think Zimmel makes third today. Skirski and Kalangad, I think, round out the top 5.
And that has literally, for the top 3, just extended the gaps between them because it's in that order that they are at the top of the standings, even off at the top with Quickstep in 2 and Zimmel in 3. So those gaps opening, because see the 15, 12, 10 points for 1, 2 and 3. And
24 riders in the leading group in Category 6 as they go over the climb for the first time. 1 done, 2 to go.
Wow. Let's go to category 4. I just imagining how that's going to feel, knowing that you still got 2 more climbs to go.
Small pieces, small chunks. That's the only way you can manage this.
I know, but you've got it in the back of your mind when you're hitting all those rises in between that these aren't even the main climbs and they're still taking it out.
Well, don't think like that. You're in charge of how you think.
Yes, boss. Right, let's go in with a man who's no stranger to climbing, Niall Batty, on your screens in person and on the avatar on the screen as he goes in. Aidan Sinclair, though, kicking off the front of this group. So it's going to be the first of the sprints for Sinclair. He's kicked early enough to keep Francis Pino off his heels. Pino at the moment just battling with Batty to make sure he goes in front of him, but it's going to be Sinclair. And you can see Sinclair cruising underneath the archway, letting that group come back. It's about being secure in position without expending one more watt that is necessary.
Yeah, well, I'll talk about expending watts that are necessary in a moment. But category 4 going through there in terms of that group of riders. And you can see Sinclair taking the 5 points, Pino taking 4, Bombicini taking 3, Snyder taking 2, and Batty taking 1. I say talk about them going through there. So they went through there in 6:37. Category 5 went through there in 6:10. Category 6 went through there in 6:26. So actually, Category 6 were faster at that point than Category 4. That's not going to be
it's not going to stay
nice
like that.
thought for the Category 6 riders to know that their first, 5 kilometres were faster than the Category 4 first 5 kilometres, but it won't stay like that. You're right.
And at the start of the stages, we could say that was due to the sheer volume of riders in Category 6. Now it's about the fact that they just don't seem to learn and go like a loon out the gun every time.
49 riders in that Category 4 pack.
Okay, let's go down to the start line here in Category 3. The overall general classification in front of you with Yu-Yun Lin at the top of the standings. He moved up 4 places, courtesy of the 3rd place. And that tells you actually, in that sense, it's just a lot about the racing. Behind him, Michaela Shakila right in the mix, but you can see Maciej Skiski dropping down 2 places out of the top 3. Reinheimer just holding his 3rd place there. I think for me, this really now is about what's happening in time gaps behind, because it is so close in the top standings. And at the moment, I mean, you look back and you're only on a handful of seconds. Well, you're not even on a minute for the top 30, are you?
Well,
it's 52 seconds, I think.
I know, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? Because I'm having to look at it thinking, really? But really, I'm now looking at the minute marker, and to get to 3 minutes, 40 riders within 3 minutes 44 of each other. That's a massive group. Category 3 women's racing is really competitive as well. Category 3 men's racing just as much. Franklin Almeida took the win yesterday, and look how close that was between him and Zach Patterson. I mean, it was close enough back to Zhenyu Lin, but Patterson and Almeida, I mean, honestly, what is that? That's not even a feather widthways, not lengthways. It's absolutely tiny, the gap. Christopher Morgan did a great job sweeping up the points in the sprint competition yesterday, trying to close down on Mason Rocker. He has. It's 40 points to 38 points in that competition. And Fabio Hjulhorst picked up the points yesterday in the climbing competition to go ahead of Ergutan Adar, who was leading as we went into yesterday's stage.
Those 2 riders a reasonable distance clear, but let's just put this back into context. 31 points for Hjulhorst. There are 30 points available in the first 2 climbs alone, and in the last climb, 45 points in total. So more points available if you led over every climb than have been scored by the leader so far.
Yes. Well, Category 3 head out of the pen and leave Category 1 and 2 in there.
Category 3 onto the road. This kick is going to be key. Stay in that group. You don't want to get distanced here because you're going to be chasing for the entire 68.3 kilometers over every single one of those 1,110 meters of ascent. The 3 laps of the Bhutan hilly route playing host to stage 4 in the men's race titled Break the Field. It certainly has done with everything we've seen so far in every race field that's gone out. It has been broken. The question really is, how will it break? Who will be in? What are those splits? Where do they occur? Who's got the legs at the end to take those stage wins? And remember, stage winners take away prizes on this, the $1 million prize fund, MyWhoosh Championships 2026.
Oh, Luis Andrade on your screens at the moment. He's sat comfortably second at the moment behind Mason Rocker, who's putting in a big dig on the front. Andrade doing a fabulous job at the moment in the stage race. And we're coming into day 4. The midway point, 3 stages done after today.
There's less stages to do.
There's less stages to do than have been complete. Now, that's a nice thought. Ivo Sur on the Pain Cave, and he's on the bike and in the mix right towards the front of the pack.
Indeed. Good to see Ivo. I don't think we've seen Ivo so far in the MyWhoosh Championships, one of our regulars on camera on the Sunday Race Club.
He's currently in 37th place on GC, but that's 2 minutes 30 back, so not huge in terms of today and today's stage.
Oh, thank you very much for the wave. I was waving in the studio back. Let's go to our GCC competition. Dorvinel still holds the top spot in that. Been racing so far for 4 hours, 38 minutes, 48 seconds, plus whatever he's got on the clock today, which is going to be 2 minutes and 5 seconds at the moment. I'll let you do the maths at home.
Well, feel free. But can I just talk about how close, not just the individual is, but how close the team competition is? 46 seconds to separate the top 7 teams at the moment going into today's stage in category 3. I don't think it's going to be like that at the end, but I'm very happy to eat my words if it is.
We will have to see. Let's move to the Masters competition because it is Martin Conda who's leading that competition. Now, this is down another very slim margin, separating these riders out. 2 seconds separate Conda from Pony at the moment. The What's Up rider ahead of the Ride Club Finland rider. So there's hardly anything to choose between them on the same watts per kilo. The heart rate separated by only the watts only separated by 3 watts on average across the racing. The average heart rate separated by 1 beat. I mean, there's nothing in it. Conda and Pony this is going to run and run.
Now, the youth competition is the jersey is hidden today because it is underneath the golden leaders jersey. Junyu Lin from Peak Power Racing 3B holds that young riders competition as well. Sergio Osorio is 6 seconds back. Fabio Hjulhorst is 7 seconds back. Ponzi is 20 seconds back. Tell you something, there's a lot of really good young riders in this category 3 race.
Yeah, there's 6 riders within 2 minutes. Well, it's going to be super close.
I'm looking at who's gone down the road, and I am so not surprised.
Yeah, it's like if you pick 2 riders who are going to go on the offensive early, it's going to be Mason Rocker and Christopher Morgan. They've done this time and time again. You could probably cut this clip from here and play the same notes over
just
the top of it.
Just put a different date on it.
Yeah, just put a different date on it. You know, it's a true copy and paste. I think the problem for them is there is no way that they are going to solo off to our race finish here.
No, but they're in it for the
sure.
Sprint competition because that comes at the 5.1 kilometre marker, and Rocker and Morgan are battling it out.
Separated by 2 points coming into today. 24 points for Corrales in third, Morgan with 38 and 40 for Rocker. Tamo Friedrich starting to hover around the front here, and I've no surprises for that. Tamo, one of our riders, again another regular on the Sunday race club, another regular riding on racing on MyWhoosh.
He's currently sat in 38th on GC, 3 minutes 20 back, but today with these 3 climbs, 3 minute 20, poof, it could just go out the window.
I so needed to record that. Poof. I might go back and go record it again and put it into the sound box, ready to use at a later date.
Well, please don't do that. But at the 3.9 kilometre marker, we've got a 6-second gap to 2 riders down the road, 3 riders down the road at the moment because they've been joined.
Yep, Rui Ferreira went after them. He chased after. He knows a breakaway that's likely to go for a little while for the moment. I'm just wondering whether Ferreira is going for this because it's his opportunity. I'm just frantically scrolling through to see if he's not up there on the sprints competition, so it's not like he's going to gain anything if they do take it to the sprint line. We're not far away.
No, you gain a run into the base of the Dragon's Fury climb at the 7.3 kilometre marker if you've got a breakaway, and that might be what he wants.
You got to run in onto this climb, which is also going to be really, really key. Now, Morgan versus Rocker on these big slopes. Rocker with the green skin suit as the sprint leader at the moment, having to fight his way onto the wheels of Morgan. The gradient has dropped off, and now Rocker goes over the top. Morgan has to respond here. Rocker, the purest sprinter of the two. Morgan, the rider who we expect to go on a breakaway more often. Rocker holding this, but this is Morgan coming back at him. If he can get in the slipstream, it's going to negate any kind of sprint advantage that's been afforded to Rocker. He can't do it. Rocker is going to get this. Morgan comes up. He closes towards the end. He gets into the slipstream as they go over the line. Too little too late to aid him in his pursuit of that. And Rocker opens up the gap a little bit more at the top of the sprint competition. Behind Ramirez in third place. I think it's going to be Rui Ferreira coming through in fourth, and Jacek Chikors coming through in fifth.
Well, I think the interesting thing, going through here is going to be what happens after the first climb of the day. Jacques Chicors has 17 points in that competition, and I'm wondering whether he's banking on going over the top. Rocker and Morgan, 45 and 42. They are so far clear of the rest of the field. Just starting to take a look as to how many points are available in that sprint competition over the next few days. Well, there's still 65 points, or 60 points now still available.
So 60 points still available. I tell you the two riders who are close in the sprints competition, Corrales in third, but Manarelli in fourth. Carlos Manarelli has been riding really well. He's been going into breakaways late on in the stage. He's good come the end of the stage. He's better. He seems to be better at the end of the stage than he's at the start. And that may well be telling when we move through this stage. We're just going to have to see how well he's climbing as we make our way through today's stage 4 of the men's competition here on the MyWhoosh Championships for 2026. And we've got 2 more categories to send out and away onto the race route. Category 2 has been an absolute battle on the chase, really, behind Giselle Betty and Mr. X100. They were 1 and 2 on stage 1, and they've just kept on holding that position. 2 podiums for Mr. X100 on stage 1 and stage 2 has really helped him in terms of time. Those 2 riders, Betty heading the stands, is Mr. X100 on 3 seconds, 8 seconds back to Mitchell Stewart, who took the win yesterday and clawed a few seconds clear of Nathan Guerra, who is riding incredibly consistently as well, and that is consistently good.
Yeah, you see 19 riders separated by 37 seconds. Yeah. It is really, really close. If I pick sort of the 3-minute marker, we're looking at 36 riders. It just, I actually think this is pretty much wide open at the moment. It is so close at the top. I mean, the top 5, 10 seconds. It's absolutely going to be the business today in terms of this competition, and I think really start to shake category 2.
Well, I think it's going to be telling whether any of our stage 3 winners who were in that break, that leading group who'd kicked on over the first climb of the day and the only climb of the day yesterday, can now repeat that going into today. Mitchell, the stage winner, Damsgaard in second, Guerra in third. Vidal Mayer adding points to his sprint total.
Yeah, Julian Hertz in second, 33 points. So it's a big gap. SS adding 20 points to his points total. It's massive. It really, really is. And I'm doing a double check as to whether anybody can touch him, really, because Ivan Nuki's got 14 points, but they're on the same team. So Mitchell Stewart is the only rider who is close with 13, but 13 from 49. Oh, it would only be possible if SS didn't score any more points.
In the climbs competition, that is. So the climbs competition led by SS. He's a long way clear, but still plenty of points still to come.
There's a lot of points still available, and can you really bank on SS of not scoring any points at all? I mean, I'm just taking a look. There are 134 points still available in the climbing competition. I mean, it's
more than doable.
It is. It is more than doable, but pretty much you've got to be clear, and you've got to bank on the fact that, can you bank on SS and Nuki not being in the points?
I wouldn't put money on that at all. Now, one man who has really excelled, some riders come to the fore when they get there. Some riders search for greatness, others get greatness thrust upon them. I'll let you decide which was Giselle Betty's moment. How did he get to where he is? Well, I'll tell you something. He got there by being the fastest rider on stage 1 and then having the skill and ability to hold it through the following 2 stages. So he held that lead when we went over the first of our climbs stages. He held it yesterday when we were on a middling climb stage, a sort of hilly stage. But this is a whole different ball game. This is like the difference between rugby and soccer, or American football and football.
Yes, well, there we go. I just saw Betty in that golden leaders jersey right towards the front of the group. X100 in the GCC jersey, and he is currently leading that competition by 31 seconds from his own teammate SS.
Come on, SS, what are you doing?
Ivan Nuki, 3 minutes 13 back in that competition. So those 3 teammates all together. He's also leading the Masters competition.
Yes.
And again, it's really, really close.
I think this. I'm really interested to see this. You've got you've got Mr. X100 up against Mr. America Nathan Guerra. You know that. I think this is going to be really interesting to see Nathan Guerra with so much experience racing on cycling esports up against the man who has ridden so many MyWhoosh Sunday race clubs. I think he's second overall in the all-time riders. I mean, brilliant to see that battle play out. Let's go to our youth rider, Milan Termerton.
Yes.
Now, the youth competition here this is a brilliant competition.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just putting this out there. There are 6 riders within 3 minutes, 5 riders within 1 minute 40, 3 riders within a minute of 3 riders within the same minute. Milan Termerton's leading.
Josh Power was leading going into yesterday, and he's now gone down to 4th place. This is uber competitive.
Wide open, absolutely wide open. It's like playing soccer and not having a goalie. I'm using a few football references. There's some strange competition going on.
Well, there's polka dot competition going on as well, and in category 4 they've just gone over the top of the climb for the first time. That's the Dragon Fury climb. Now Batty went over the top in one to pick up the 15 points, 12 seconds clear of a 22 rider group, and this is the front of that group that we are looking at. They're about to come back to Batty because Batty has sat up and has waited for them, but Restrepo picks up 12 points, Pino picks up 10, Sinclair picks up 8, and Rusamaki picks up 5 points. The Jersey, well, that is an interesting one, but Aidan Sinclair still holds on.
Yeah, it's Restrepo there doing a good job of trying to maximising his points there, taking away second place there. He's staying ahead of Batty in category 4. That's I think that's going to be one of our subplots running all the way through today's stage. It's that mountains competition as we drop back down in here to the riders in category 2, because you can see we've got a real mix of riders. When the riders were down on start pen, we saw the category 6 leaders come flying through, along with lots of groups in category 6. Because of that, it means the riders on multiple laps are seeing people in front and behind. And remember, all our riders can draft each other irrespective of category. So Julian Hertz trying to profit from that on this run through. He's got a little bit of a gap on Vidal Mayer, Lucas Halen, Mohamed Al-Kais, and the rest of the riders leading the bunch behind. And it's not the group of riders you can see behind Julian Hertz. Hertz at the moment, solo. Then you've got the group of category 6 riders, and then a long way back, so far you probably need a telescope to see them, it is the chasing group in category 2, and that's everybody but Hertz.
Well, the 200 metres, and Hertz has done an amazing job, and just using like one of those emotes to tell us all he's going like lightning at the moment, and like lightning he is. He's off that 5.1 kilometre marker. He's got 1,000 metres to go, and he's around, well, he's 200 metres clear of the group.
Yep, absolutely flying. Great riding here by Julian Hertz. I was just wondering if this was something that's influenced by the sprint, and it is, because he is the second rider in the sprint competition behind Vidal Mayer. He's got 33 points in that sprints competition. Langevin with 21, Machado with 17, but they're all chasing Mayer. But interestingly, on the stage, Vidal Mayer and Julian Hertz tied on the chase for points. So no difference in the point score that they took on stage 3 in that sprint competition. So an early run by Hertz. Okay, so let's see how we move on going forward here. The rider out of the saddle is Lucas Halen. He's riding for second place on the run into the line. This is Hertz to lose now, as Halen is looking at the best of the rest here. Hoyos is right behind him though, so it's Coimbra. Mayer now starting to move up, the leader in that sprints competition. He may not be taking maximum points. He may see the gap at the top come down slightly to Hertz, but he wants to minimize the amount it does. Halen's still in front of him, but for how long? I suspect it won't last for Halen as they go in towards the line. Now comes the kick from Mayer. Hertz has gone through. Mayer just needs to stay clear of the rest of the riders behind. You can see that that is not full gas for Mayer. That's enough to stay in front of the rest, but not enough to really expend enough energy to put him into trouble.
It's a controlled and measured effort. That's exactly what it is. And Vidal Mayer will be consistent and attempt to manage that effort all the way through these 7 stages across 8 days. So Hertz picks up 5 points, Mayer picks up 4, Halen picks up 3, Karstinen picks up 2, and Mendakowicz picks up 1.
So the riders up and underway here in Category 2, our penultimate race, Category 2, leave our race start. And at the moment, Vidal Mayer, the rider on your screen, leading in that sprints competition from Julian Hertz. Hertz taking more points that time around. Mayer, though, nicely in the mix. The whole of this group, including the golden jersey of Josiah Betty, all together at this stage. Now, we are in with Gaches Zimiel, who is in the mix here in Category 6 as they make their way through. And Category 6 going through for their second time through the sprint, just after Category 2 going through. Mamba, Quickstrom, Gibson, Fager and Newman, who didn't score points there.
Yeah, now this is really interesting because Santeri Quickstrom is the rider with the most points in that group already in the competition, and Jonathan Fager as well. So Fager doing a good job being in the back of that group and picking up points. He picks up 2 to take his total to 29. Quickstrom's on 26. And of course, Warren is not in that leading group. So he might be leading the sprint competition, but now he's got trouble because he's not in the leading group. Now, Category 1 leading at the moment, Jason Osborne.
It is indeed Jason Osborne, 4 hours, 24 minutes, 59.54 seconds, so just under 4 hours, 25 minutes for Jason Osborne. Ollie Jones of the Alpha Duo Space Cowboys, the rider chasing behind us, trying to hold on to the coattails of Osborne. The gap for Osborne, not massive, 22 seconds, 41 seconds back to Don in 3rd place, 4th place, 42 seconds, 5th place, 45 seconds, same in 6th. There is a group, though, realistically here, who are in contention, and there's a gap behind where they're not. And for me, that dividing line, I think, if in terms of a podium position at the moment, I would say that that podium position, that line is not drawn until you get to 28th place.
Yeah, Michael Plantro, 3 minutes 40 back on GC. But as we said, just 3 minutes 40. The riders could lose a lot of time out there today and tomorrow on these mountain stages. So 28 riders potentially still in the mix in Category 1. This competition is going to go to the wire.
Jason Osborne taking away the stage win yesterday. Once again, sprinting through 3 wins out of 3 for Jason Osborne in the Category 1 race. Absolutely flying, but is it enough to keep everybody off his tail when we hit the big mountains? We'll find out. They're putting down the power. It's time to go racing. Our last category to take to the roads of Bhutan is Category 1. They have in front of them 68.3 kilometers, 3 laps of this Bhutan hilly route, 1,110 meters of ascent, and of that climbing. Each time they go up the Dragon Fury climb, the Category 1 climb, there's 263 meters of climbing in that alone.
Yeah, there is. And at the moment, Christoph Kroll just on the front of the pack, pushing on those pedals. Pucker right on the wheel. Van Elster, Osborne, Jones, Power, Vyasin coming out of the start line together. Now, we did see when they were in the start line a number of Category 5 and Category 6 riders coming through to go out onto their second lap. So that is what the Category, or who the Category 1 riders are passing.
Indeed, they're not passing some randoms out on the course, just riding. They are riders
Ollie
out
Jones
on the race.
on your screen, part and parcel of the Alpha Duo Space Cowboys crew. We had Lionel Vyasin, his teammate, on the podcast last night. So that is the latest Inside the Race at MyWhoosh Racing podcast that is out there for you to listen to. All about yesterday's stage race, and obviously a little bit more about what that team might be thinking going forward.
Yep, those interviews are not just focused on what happened that day. It's also about the race in its totality. So they are well worth a look back. One man who we've not spoken to is Neil Fryatt, the man who's leading the Masters competition in Category 1. Neil Fryatt, at the moment, his race time 4 hours, 25 minutes, 45 seconds. So by no means out of the running at the moment in Category 1. And loving the paint. A different shot this time around.
It is a different shot, and I can see that it's daylight and that Fryatt is facing outwards. So he's got the outdoor view with the garage door open in front of him. I quite like that. You feel like you're outdoors, but you're indoors.
Outdoors, indoors, indoors.
Well,
it's all painful.
Pavel Skierski, Neil Fryatt, Hayden Pucker, all towards the front of the group. In fact, Neil Fryatt and Hayden Pucker were just side by side, two riders from the USA, two really class riders from the USA, both making the World Championship stage on more than one occasion.
We're in with Pavel Skierski, our rider in the young persons competition. The young riders competition being led by Skierski. He's currently 6.8 seconds ahead of Lyndon Milostic. Now 2 minutes clear of Jakob Dane. And they're a substantial amount actually ahead of Jan Jasper.
24 minutes.
Challenge that.
But can I just say, Lyndon Milostic is climbing really, really well at the moment, the young rider from Australia. I think this is going to be a really, really good competition between Skierski, Milostic and Dane as we go over the rest of the days of this competition. Marcin Wozniak on your screen at the moment. Another one of the Polish contingent. Do you know, we've got really strong Polish riders in Category 1.
Yeah, we certainly have. Great to see him here in action. Certainly another great shot into the pain cave.
Yeah, the team competition is it's hotting up as well here in Category 1. The final boss is in the lead, 13 hours, 16 minutes, 28 seconds. But that's just 28 seconds faster than the Alpha Jaw Space Cowboys. Zero Ducks Racing, 1 minute 35 back in third. ZDR2, 1 minute 52 back in third. The Venga Boys, 1 minute 57 back in. Do you know, it's just so close. It's only 2 minutes separating the top 6 teams.
It's next to nothing.
I know. Jan Jasbeck on your screen. Great to see him in the Category 1 peloton. It really is one of the younger riders in the peloton. And it's almost, I don't want to say, Jan, that it's a baptism of fire. You've been up and down in Cat 1, Cat 2, but you really have been on that border on the Sunday Race Club, up into Category 1 to race the MyWhoosh Championships. There's probably a lot of learning going on, and there's some great strong riding, but hard.
Indeed. Now, Lionel Vijasin on the screens at the moment. Lionel, the guest on the Inside the Race podcast. You can get there from the link on the page, on the MyWhoosh info page, or of course, you can go there on Spotify or on YouTube. Lionel, always entertaining when you have a chat with Lionel. I think today he's got to let his legs do the talking rather than the personality.
Well, yes, but I think he's more than capable of that.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the team for me, I mean, Ollie Jones is looking really strong. He's currently lying second on GC. But when you look at the rest of the crew, when you look at the rest of the squad, you know, they're really packing tightly. So Lionel Vijasin is in 9th, Dan Turek is in 10th, Mikhail Kaminsky is in 12th. You know, you can't really ask for much more than that at the moment, can you? But that team, for me, friends off the bike, great colleagues on the bike, and I think it works really well from them.
I think it does. I was just loving the Category 5 rider who just put in a monumental sprint to get into this group just in time for the group to hit the climb and the explosion to come off the front in the running towards our sprint here. Adrian Alvarado, and good to see Adrian now deciding, do you know what, I'm going to have a little run at this. You might all be a little preoccupied with what's going on later in the stage, but they're quickly onto his wheels here. So Van Els goes over the top of Alvarado. Turek, the man on your screens, in 4th place at the moment, in the right place to bring this a little bit further up towards the line here. So I think we're going to see some movement. Jasper Paradine, so danger man when it comes to this run in to the line, closes it down, switches off him. The moment he does, Skierski goes over the top. So now Skierski got the momentum. Lovely move by Skierski. Waited for Paradines to take a breath. He went over the top, and now Ollie Jones is coming, and Jones is bringing Paradines with him. Skierski's going to get rolled here on the way to the line, and it's going to be by two of them. No one's got the power to match Jasper Paradines. The man is on fire at the moment. Jones trying to put out the flames, only holds on for second place. Skierski, Van Els, and then Hayden Pucker.
I just want to keep saying to Pavel Skierski, wait, because he did the same yesterday. He just goes too early. I mean, it's absolute credit to him for giving it a go, but he gets rolled on the line because Paradines and Jones just wait. Well, yes, Paradines takes 5 points. Ollie Jones takes 4. Pavel Skierski takes 3. Van Els takes 2, and Pucker takes 1 point in that sprint. It's just, you know, when you just like...
It's so easy when you're sat here watching with this massive overview that we get.
I know. You know, it's so true.
We get this overview. We're not, we're not got our heart rate up at 170 odd. I don't think, I'm not sure how high mine will go. We doesn't even go that high at the moment. And we're not in the middle of doing that on full-on race effort whilst you've got your teammates around you also trying to give you everything.
Well, at the moment, Jasper Paradine sits at the top of the table in that sprint competition. Ollie Jones 3 points behind him. Pavel Skierski, he's 9 points off the lead. There's plenty yet to come in that sprint competition. Lots and lots of points still available out there. 65 points over the next few days. Well, 35 riders in that leading group in Category 1. In Category 2, coming to the top of the climb, it's still a big bunch.
We're in with Rajesha Kamadeva as they come up onto this climb, nicely tucked into that groove. Nicely positioned. I think if you're here now at the 11.2, how much ground are you going to lose? You've got less than 2K to the summit. It could be a lot, but if we go upwards at this pace without it being too explosive, it could well be that we've got a really big group going over the top of the climb for the first time in Category 2, the top of the Dragon's Fury climb, coming in at 13.0 kilometers as you get over the top. Emil Ivanov led over Category 6, and Nicholas Spratt led over Category 5. Now Batty Category 4. Carlos Manarelli, did say the name?
Yeah.
Manarelli leading over the top of Category 3. Category 2. Well, they're going to have to wait to see who goes over there. In terms of sizes of groups, 24 riders in Category 6, 33 riders in Category 5, one rider 12 seconds clear of 22 in Category 4. That was Batty, but Batty waited and we saw that. Category 3, 42 riders together over the top of the climb for the first time. Not sure I'd have predicted that, but I think our riders are going to be going, do you know what? I don't want to go too hard too soon.
Well, interestingly, we've got Vyacheslav Churek on the screen from Category 1. The rest of the riders on the screen from Category 2. Betty is in the middle row on the far left-hand side. He's wearing the leader's jersey at the moment overall in the Category 2 race. He'll be the rider defending that today. The ice packs are back in Simon Walter's garage, keeping him nice and cool down there. Machado, Yazbek, Nuki, Bjorklund, Cahill on the bottom line of the screen.
I'm sorry, but at the moment you said the ice packs are in the pancake, Simon Walter gave you a big thumbs up just as you had to get out of the saddle to give us the thumbs up whilst sprinting up the climb in this group of riders. It really is telling, isn't it? It shows you just how competent the riders are. Really interesting the way, the styles of the riders. And that's why I think when we get this viewing of so many different pain caves, the way the riders are riding, I mean, some of them have got some superb speed and style, just spinning the pedals around. Others are just happy to get out of the saddle and dance on the pedals. Other people are churning a big gear. A real good view. Now, let's go dive in with our Category 3 riders. Another really good view in here. Felipe Reinhammer is in here. Christian Montoya, defending champion, bottom left-hand side of his screen. He's kept his powder dry. Did say we start to see him coming to the fore on the front. So I think today could be a Montoya kind of day. No pressure, Christian. As they go up on to the climbs. You got Antti Polling in here, Patrick Carlston. Patrick Felley's in here as well, and it's super, super warm. I think Patrick Felley's just like, what am I doing here at this moment in time? This is crazy, but Fell doing a good job at the moment. Oviedo, just giving us a wave there. So good to see you, Jose. Juan Cueros in here, Sandra Matthews, Carmen Ivo, sure. Franklin Almeida, Yon Nikki as well. Thank you, everybody, for the view into the Pain Cave. And don't forget that background there. Really important. You can see the Fusion Race team represented.
Yeah, that category 3-pack going over the top of the climb. 42 riders were in that leading group at that point in time. And it was a massive, massive group first time round. It'll split the second and third time. But right now, at the moment, SS is making his move out of the front of the group. Sergio Hoyos is now moving, and so is Nicholas Trujillo. Nicholas Trujillo is sprinting at 10 watts per kilo. He wants the points. SS in the polka dots is going to go under in 1. Trujillo, that move is going to take him, I think, through in 2 ahead of Hoyos, Trojanowski, Gorzhank, Ortiz, Krasnich, all coming at speed behind because there's a lot of points on offer.
Big points on offer today. Big points. Remember, it's 15, 12, 10, 8 and 5 for first, second, third, fourth and fifth. And filling those positions in category 2, SS in 1, Trujillo in 2, Hoyos in 3, Trojanowski in 4, and Gorzhank in 5. Those points added in to the totals so far. When they are SS now up to an eye-watering 64 points.
I know, it's amazing. 39 riders in the leading group, so 3 riders dropped on that climb in category 2. They are at 34 seconds, but the majority of the field are in the mix. A lot of riders that we would be looking for, keeping it more steady on that climb, but there's some great performances. The riders just off the back: Bruce Bird, Jonas Bjarhed, Nicholas Fournier and Carlos Ramirez.
Okay, we're going to the Dragon's Fury climb number 2 for category 6, who are well into this climb at the 34.8k marker. They've got 1,000 meters, 1k to go to the summit at the moment. Dylan Kennett, I have no idea what Kennett's doing at the moment. He's a bit like Iraspoli on the Mont Ventoux. He is absolutely getting himself over the top of the climbs, and it shows you that riders, although they can sprint, if you've got the skills to hold the wheel, if it doesn't go hard enough, you've got a chance of staying there. Look at Jonathan Vega.
He's in here as well.
He's doing a great job here, but you can see how much it's hurting to stay with the leading group. Remember, the mountain climbing points at the moment, Ivanoff is leading 61 points for Ivanoff.
Well,
absolutely brilliant to see.
Defending your leader's jersey over the mountains is absolutely crucial, even though when you're not a climber. I'm trying to think, the French rider in the Tour de France who did that years ago, he took the yellow jersey. He used to have a lovely grimace as he went over the mountains, but
Volkler?
Yeah, Thomas Volkler.
Used to pull faces like he was gurning.
He took that yellow jersey in the Tour de France by surprise. And then on that mountain stage, when everybody expected him to lose it, he held on to it by fractions, seconds it really was.
You do realise you might meet him in a commentary box at the World Championships when we go to the Haute Savoie.
I've got no problems whatsoever. He was absolutely one of my heroes riding on the road, because I just loved the dogged determination and commitment. So there are lots of people out there who do amazing things.
Yeah, there are. And I think I love the fact that riders in the Tour de France inspire people who are, people like me who are never ever going to get a chance of doing that, to go ride and to race, to come here and race on the platform on MyWhoosh in the MyWhoosh Championships. And guess what? Up on the front, we're now starting to see Ivanoff opening up the gap on the front. He wants maximum points here. He's being challenged by Quickstrom. Quickstrom getting second place last time at the climb. Quickstrom coming on the right-hand side. Did Ivanoff go too early? Has he got the legs? He has. Oh, that was close. I tell you something, these two are so evenly matched.
I know.
Ivanoff's just edging it. And the gap has opened between them on the climbs competition. Zimiel at the moment on 49 points total, comes in third place. Quickstrom's now at 55, 76 for Ivanoff. They were the 3-2-1 Skiski and Veidel, the riders who come through immediately behind there. That, though, for me, was an interesting battle at the top there.
Yeah, it really was. And 18 riders left in that leading group. A split did happen towards the final stages. You can see it quite clearly on the top right-hand corner of your screen. So that category 6-pack moving and slowly getting smaller.
Attritional.
Yeah, 18 riders now in that leading group, and it's a 47-second gap back to the second group as they start the descent the other side.
I think the parallel to a Tour de France stage where you go into the mountain stages and you see, although it doesn't necessarily, there are some riders who go clear at the front occasionally, or very often. But what you often see in things like the Tour and the Giro, the Vuelta, is that you get riders, it breaks and a few riders are lost. It goes over another climb on the run into the final climb. Another block of riders are lost. And you go on again and another block of riders are lost. And they are lost off the back of the group. And then you end up with like the big favourites all left there. And we're starting to see that happen here on the MyWhoosh Championships, on the stage race, as we're coming into our mountain stages. Those riders who've been hovering around in the GC now really are showing their strengths. They're coming up into form. They're showing why they are the leaders, why they're in that sort of top 10, 15 in the GC. But the places to hide and the are running out, and the time to show yourself is coming on. Spratt now in category 5, another rider, Spratt and Petter here, the Vinigo and Pogacar of the peloton. You've got calculation versus going out for it on every stage. So we'll see how that plays out. Let's go into our category 5 riders down in the pain cave. Luke Allport going for the casual look today, just tapping out that rhythm. Marius Fossier, it is the most colourful pain cave, Marius Fossier.
I know, it's amazing.
It has to be said. Junior Penn's a great ride from Junior recently in there as well. Every rider on our screens at the moment really doing a great job in this championship, but they've got their work cut out because it's breaking on the front. The pressure on the front is going and putting the pressure on the riders behind, and all these personal battles, whether you're in first, 21st, 41st, 61st, 101st, whichever it is definitely on your screens. Now, Marius Fossier out of the saddle, sprinting hard up this climb. He's working hard, is Fossier, as he goes over up onto the top there. This is going to be key. Can he stay in the group? Junior Alberto Pence is in this group, currently holding inside the top 10. So is Marius Fossier. He's here in the block. He's holding station. So is Kendall. Kuntz is in here. Milic is in here. Arcila is in here. Rojas. It's still a big group. Up the road at the moment, 2 riders clear on the front. Spratt, followed by Petter, and then you have got the group behind, the big bunch chasing, and Rod Loxley now starting to accelerate up onto the top of this climb. Brendan Thornton, interestingly, also nicely in this group. Thornton right up there in the GC in category 5. Loxley, he's got the jersey open, trying to keep cool.
It was 33 riders going into the base of the climb in the category 5 race, and then before they started to move, Nick Spratt in those polka dots. Right the way at the beginning of this stage race, Matt said, what is Nicholas Spratt going for this year? This year it is the polka dots that he's going for, and possibly the overall GC. He took the climb and the sprint competition in his category last year. I think this is a different target this year, and the climb competition alongside the GC could be what Spratt is going for today. He's side by side with the leader in the overall at the moment, Lucas Petter. Those two working well together because Petter knows the danger that is Spratt on these climbs, and he knows if he wants to defend that leader's jersey, he's got to climb with Spratt.
He has. The golden jersey, though, not needing to climb with anybody at the top here. Jason Osborne, though, this is for the points in the climbs competition. Sprinting clear at the moment of Linda Molostic and Ruben Don as they come in towards the top of the banner here. They've reached the top of the Dragon's Fury climb for the first time. Don and Molostic in that order as they go over the line. Ruben Dont, when we spoke to him earlier on this week, was saying he wants to be known as an all-round rider. He loves it when it's aggressive. He loves it when the pressure is on. He loves to race, and he was racing to second place there behind Jason Osborne. It's very rare anybody can beat Osborne on the climb. Osborne, Dont, Milostic, Van Elst, and Kaplinski 15, 12, 10, 8, and 5 points in the Category 1 competition.
And 29 riders in that leading group going up and over the climb for the first time today.
So that's their first time up the climb. Osborne now leading with 70 points, clear of everybody else by a margin. Nicholas Spratt at the moment in Category 5 coming up to the top of the climb. Remember, this is now going into their second descent here as they go upwards towards the top of the summit. What they're going to do, Spratt's going to take the mountain points here. Can he put the rest under pressure on the descent? Are we going to see maybe a little bit of a move on the descent to try and break clear? Difficult to do because it's not about descending skills, it's about putting the power down, and you're going to need to save some of that for later. Spratt, Petter, Kendall, Penn's theme just up at the top of the group.
Yeah.
We're going to see if that's the order they came over the line. It's not quite, I don't think.
Well, but Spratt, Petter, Kendall, Penn's theme are indeed the order they come over the line, and those are the riders who take the points in the competition. Spratt's so clear with 77 points. But, do you know, Luke Kendall doing a great job defending his place on GC. Yeah. He's doing a really, really strong ride here. Spratt and Petter clear by 11 seconds of a 23-rider group. I'm just looking to see whether that's going to come back together again. I think it probably is. But that'll put 25 riders in the leading group of Category 5 after the second climb.
Okay, a little bit further down the slopes, you can see Category 4 leader Niall Batty on the climb at the moment. You can see how tough this climb is. He's out of the saddle, turning those pedals around, climbing the ascent here. Second time up the climb of the Dragon's Fury climb. First time over the summit. Batty led over the top by 12 seconds. He's got a similar amount of time in the bank already at this stage at 32.8K. He's got another 3K to go to the summit. Is he going to open this out? Is he just going to try and hold that gap? Because last time he went over the top, he waited. He waited for them. Is he going to wait this time around?
I just think it depends on the size of the pack behind, and the pack behind still looks good. Let's just take a look at the last sprint going into the base of the climb. It was 23 riders. So there's still around 20. I'm just looking back down the hillside. I think there's still around 23 riders in that group actually doing the chasing. On the descent and the transition, the group will just move quicker than a single rider. So Batty's got to, if he wants to go clear, make a concerted effort to hold a strong time trial pace the whole way. And tomorrow is another big climbing day. So I think he's probably going to want to come back into the pack again, rest, recover for the third ascent.
But then, in my mind, it's then how much time gap do you need? I think I would be riding a reverse race here, almost, if I was Niall Batty. And by doing that, what I mean is I would be sitting on the front and I go, right, I've got a gap of 15 seconds. I'm going to keep it at 15 and save something in reserve. And yes, if they push, I'll lift my pace because I know I can. I'm on a climb. But then I'm just holding the gap. I'm expending the minimum amount of energy to keep a safe gap, to get maximum points. I'm not going to stay clear on the descent. I'm not going to stay clear through the valley. We still got another climb to go. And if I'm going to go for the finish, it's going to be on the last climb. There's nothing to be gained here in going further clear at the front. Having 30 seconds and then, you know, okay, he's not going to put the brakes on, but basically he's not, the only advantage is he's got more time to recover, and we know he can do that on the way down in the bunch. So for me, I'd ride this as a reverse race almost. Look in the rear view mirror, look at the time gap and go, I just want to keep them there. And if they lift it, I'll lift it. If they drop it, I'll drop it. And just keep moving to stay away.
One of the things, though, climbers like is they like to sit in their own rhythm.
True.
You know, and actually perhaps that's what he's doing. He's less bothered about time gaps, who's doing what behind him, what the gap is, do I want to attack further? Potentially he could just be riding his own rhythm up the climb, and that is enough, isn't it, in itself, to get the gap. Well, Category 2 at the 22.7 kilometre marker, a little bit further behind Category 3 and Category 4. Category 4 on the climb for the second time. Category 3 are about to get there as we see a big push off the front of the Category 1 race. And this is Hayden Pucker on the downhill at the moment. Huge dig from Pucker on the front. Look at that, 600 watts to pick up the pace on the descent. Interesting move
Big move.
here.
Big move by Pucker.
But really interesting move, because that's a massive pack of riders in Category 1.
Okay, let's dive down in as Pucker puts in what could be a futile move off the front on the descent. Interesting move. Maybe just wanted to wake his legs up in with the prize money in Category 6, because this is going to give us an illustration of what's at stake for our riders here today. Let's run you through the prize money once again as we take a look across Category 6. Now, if you're going to just scrape into the prizes, you're going to just get on board the team prize in 7th place. It's $1,500. It is well worth that effort to be in that team, just getting inside the top 7. If you're inside the top 10 on the general classification in Category 6, you're going to pick up $160. You're not going to be scraping inside the race finish if you are in on the stage. But the last prize winner in terms of on the stage positions, that is 3rd on stage. That is $70 versus winning the stage, $170. Our jersey winners in Category 6 taking away prizes as well. Let's move on to Category 5, where the basic team prize is $2,000. The winning team, $4,400. The individual general classification, 10th place, $240 now. If you make the top 10, $2,400. 10 times that if you take away the win. The winner stage is $210. 3rd place, $70. So 3 times the amount for the win as it is for 3rd, and $600 for the special jersey. In Category 4, the prize money goes up. The jersey is now up to £1,000 for the overall sprint, the KOM, the Young Riders, the Masters, GCC. And a quick reminder that if you win the stage, $250 versus 94, 3rd place. The prize for the overall win in the general classification, $3,400 versus $340 for 10th, and it's $2,600 for the 7th team and $5,720 for the winning team in Category 4. As we move up into the top half of our race classifications into the anti-penultimate category, that is Category 3, with the team classification win $8,360 US, and you can see $3,800 for 7th place. So big prizes to be shared out in Category 3 in the teams. To take away an individual win, $4,800, a tenth of that for 10th place, $480. And winning the stage, $280, taking away the best points haul in either the climbs or the sprints, $70 on the stage, and the overall jersey is now $1,400 for the sprint, the KOM, the Young Riders, the Masters, or the GCC winner. 2 more categories to go. Category 2. Into Category 2, we're almost up to $2,000, $1,800 for the jerseys. Just shy of $400, $395 for the win on the stage. Over $100 to take away the points in the King of the Mountains or the sprints competition, $105. When we go into the individual competition, $700 for 10th, $5,950 for 2nd, but a whopping $7,000 for the win. So 10 times the amount, $7,000 winning Category 2 individually. And if your team wins it, that takes you over the $13,000 mark, $13,200 US, with $6,000 for 7th team. So with 3 riders, that's $2,000 apiece. When we go to Category 1, this is the big prize fund. So 7th team, $10,602 US, $23,325 US for the winning team in Category 1. Take away the individual win. you're going to be taking away $12,000. And the top three, second place takes 10,200, third place takes $9,000, right the way down to 10th at $1,200. For the stage win in each of our stages, including today's stage, it's $750. And the person who scores the most climbs points or the most sprint points, or both, will take 150 per category. And if you take away the overall sprint win, the King of the Mountains win, the Young Riders win, the Masters win, or the GCC win, it's $3,000 for each race category. A monumental prize fund, $500,000 in the men's, $500,000 in the women's, $1 million US.
Wow. Category 2, the sprint is on at the 27.2 kilometre marker. They are 600 metres away, and Vidal Mayer and Tez Gorjanc have gone clear of the group. This is the head-to-head for those sprint points. Mayer going down the road, but he's on the wheel of Gorjanc at the moment. Gorjanc pushing on here, but Mayer is the rider with the points. Tez Gorjanc, no points at the moment in that competition, but he's absolutely doing this. He's leading out Vidal Mayer at the moment. Whether that's intentional or not is another question. But Mayer on the wheel of Gorjanc going into the sprint at the moment. They've got a little way to run yet, 100 metres till they see it. If they look up now, the banner is coming. Gorjanc lifts the pace, Mayer lifts the pace, Mayer lifts the pace again, comes alongside Gorjanc, goes up and over the top. Underneath the banner they go. Vidal Mayer taking the points. And Gorjanc coming through for second.
So Machado going to take away third place here on this run to the line. Carstensen being overtaken by Mundle. Mundle will take fourth. Carstensen will take fifth place. Troshinowski just, I think, missing out on the prize as he comes in over the line in that category to sprint competition as they come over the line there. So it's Mayer, Gorjanc, Machado, followed in by Mundle and Christensen. So as they came over the line that time around at the 27.9 kilometre mark on the second of our sprints, the points allocation for Vidal Mayer, the sprint leader, 50 points now to the good.
Yes, it's an interesting debate and decision as to whether you join the sprint competition now. I mean, there are still 55 points left available, which is more than Vidal Mayer actually has overall. But it is late in the day to join the comp.
And what we've got to remember, I think that there's two things going on. There is a prize, a single prize for the winner of the sprints competition overall. However, there is a prize every day for making the most points.
That's very true.
Gaining the most points, and that is going to be potentially up for grabs. So there is still points available, which equal prizes, but that is for taking the most points on the day in that day sprint. And I think for me, when you look at the scale of prizes in the overall versus the individual day, the primary competition is that overall because it's such a big prize. But once it's wrapped up for Mayer, will he continue? I think that depends on where he's in the overall GC, because if he's got the chance of GC as well, that's worth a lot more than just taking individual sprint prizes
and we've also
for being
got to
the best sprinter on the day.
You know, those individual prizes on GC go down to 10th place. So we will see battles right the way through the peloton for and including 10th place itself. So we may well have 6-7 riders in the battle on the final day looking for that 10th place spot overall on GC. Yep.
I've got a really quick one for you. Maybe not, because there's an attack going in category 1. I won't do the quick one. Category 1 are on the move again. What is it about going over the top and into a downhill? Today, it's a change of tactics. Hayden Pucker is on the attack. Do you know what? Hayden Pucker loves the downhill. I know he loves to put the power down. This is where Hayden Pucker, for anybody who hasn't met him, he's not one of the smallest riders in the peloton.
He's got huge power.
He's a big guy. You know, he's proper brick shed territory is Hayden Pucker. And I tell you something, he is a rider who has got the advantage on the downhill, and he's racing to his strengths here. Kaminsky behind him at the moment on our screens, leading the bunch. Just taking a little bit of a look at the screen here. He's got to keep himself fueled. He's got to keep himself hydrated. You can see he's pretty warm at the moment. Normally, Mikko Kaminsky is racing in the team jersey. Not today.
No. Now, interestingly, Hayden Pucker, the downhill attacks work for him. It's how he took his national championship title from in the USA in that battle. But Matthias Van He, the Belgian rider, also in this leading group as well at the moment at the 24.4 kilometre marker, up and out of the saddle on our screen, giving him a wave as well back from the commentary box. But at the 24.5 kilometre marker, this is still a huge group in Category 1, you know. They're heading towards the sprint for the second time. That comes at the 27.8 kilometre marker as Van He just tips the water down.
I hope that was water and not
you've got to get the right
drink.
bottle for that. You don't want to be pouring sticky energy drink down the back of your jersey, you know. And if you're ever outdoors and you're handing your bottles to your pit crew, you need to make sure they're labelled wisely.
Yep.
Yes,
yep, definitely.
Says the voice of experience. Because I had a double pit one day. On one side of the pit, I wanted water, and on the other side of the pit, I decided that I'd split it so that it was energy drinks, so that I knew going through one way it was over the head, and the other way it was down the throat. You know.
Did you get it the right way around?
There was a strange bottle in there that must have been mislabeled.
Oh, okay. Not what you want to happen.
Luckily, I drank the water.
As these riders come in at the moment, just shy of the sprint, just a quick shout out to anybody commenting on the YouTube channel. That's where we're picking them up. I do like the comment Alaphilippe as well for pulling faces.
Oh, yes.
In the French peloton. Although Alaphilippe, I don't think he was quite as expressive, even though he was the best. I would argue he's the better rider, Alaphilippe, with the world, you know, the vocal with that world championship title. I mean, you know, the guy's absolute class. And coming back from the crash that he had in the absolutely stunning rider, Alaphilippe, even if that does upset everyone in the commentary box, given she's a Tommy Voeckler fan. Let's go back to the racing. Let's go back into Category 6. Our leading riders on the road. They've reached a 50-kilometre marker. This means two things. One, they're nearly at the sprint, the last sprint of the day. And two, they're nearly at the second
third climb.
The second time when they go into this climb thinking, I've got a climb of this already under my legs. Because they did that on climb 2. They had one under the legs, and on climb 3, they've got 2 under the legs.
They have.
Convoluted way of saying it.
I was getting really confused there with where you were going with that.
I was working on that.
It's been confusing
practicing. Me. Yes. Well, I'll tell you what I'm confused about. Dylan Kennett has learned to climb. The tracky turn climber.
Well, there we go.
I mean, it's, you know, don't get me wrong. I rode.
There is climb on the bank, you know.
There is, but I mean, you know, I rode the track, loved the track, but do you know what? I rode more national hill climbs than I rode national track championships.
Well, they're about to go underneath the sprint banner, and nobody is popping their nose out into the
wind.
There's points available.
3 points, guys.
Jonathan Fager picking up the points. He's coming through the pack. I can see him moving to pick them up, but look at that. Just a slight push. You can tell it's a hard day out there. When the final sprint point's on offer, people just roll through. Nice little lift of the cadence from Jonathan Fager there to try and pick up the points.
Do you know one of the reasons? I'm going to put this out there. 51 points for Ola Warren already.
Yeah, I know, but Jonathan Fager's now sitting on 33. Santarelli Quickstrom is on 31. You know, there are more stages with more sprints after the climbs. The question is whether Ola Warren will be in the leading group,
which he isn't at the moment.
You know, so
oh no, sorry, he is. My apologies.
Well, you
isn't
know.
He?
So I'm just having a little look. No, he's not.
No, it's not. No.
But Quickstrom and Fager, by picking up those points, are putting themselves in a strong position.
Come on, Hayden, loving it. He went for it on the downhill. This is you know, this is what Hayden Pucker does. He's gone on the attack. He's gone clear on the front. Whether he's pulling an Alaphilippe or a Voeckler face is yet to be decided. I thought this was a bit of a crazy move on the downhill, but you know, going to roll with it. It's Hayden. But you know what? It's going to have a clean run at this sprint.
He is indeed. He's going to take the points. He's going to go right the way through underneath the green banner at the 27.8 kilometre marker, and he's going to give himself some sliding room on the climb as well if he continues.
Yeah, I just wondering about the points on the day, but Jasper Paradines is going to make this 9 points on the day for himself. Hayden Pucker is going to have, I think, 6 points for himself. So it does depend on what happens on that last climb. You can just see the riders coming through there. That's interesting.
It is interesting, but you know what's also interesting? I'm thinking about the two stages coming up. So tomorrow we're in Colombia, where it's much longer gradual climbing. I think that will suit Pucker's power better than today.
Yes.
Because it's consistent and it's a power course. And then we go into the time trial, and yet again, he's got really high power that he can hold. He did really well in the time trial last year. So it may also be a rebalancing here and a thought process about, well, actually, why don't we put Pucker down the road? Because we know he's got 2 good stages coming.
Very different time trial course, though. I mean, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go.
We won't go there yet.
We're not going to go all the way down that rabbit hole about the time trial courses until we get a bit closer to them. But very different time trial course this year to last year. So these riders make their way out on to course.
Category 2. On the climb at the moment, so 32.6 kilometers. They are 2.5 kilometers into the climb, and Vidal Mare is attacking at the moment. The rider who's leading the sprint competition, Gorshank responds, Termerton responds as well. The young rider in those white sleeves pushing on and up to the fore. Nathan Guerra now coming from the front of the pack, or should I say the back of the pack to the front of the pack. I noticed he and Phil Graves both went through at the top of the first climb, right at the back of the pack, in as much draft as possible the whole way up. I think that's intentional because they are looking to be at the front of the pack, if not off the front of the pack, by the time we get to the third climb day. That would be my reading of the race. Well, at the moment, the Category 2 pack all rolling up the climb. At the sprint at the base of the climb, it was a 39-rider group with a 50-second gap back to 2 riders on the road. It's looking like 1 or 2 riders may have been distanced off the back, and but the majority of that 37, 38, 39 riders all in this group. Well, the polka dot skin suit is in there as well. That is SS. As we drop in with Jakob Bjorklund, you can see the massive screen available to him in front, and the towel and the ice vest. And he gets up and out the saddle and pushes on those pedals. He wants to close this down. He is 37th, 36th on the road. He's got 2 riders behind him. They're the riders just in trouble, just needing to squeeze on those pedals to close this gap down, because Marcin Troshanowski is the rider on the front, and he has just lifted the pace. There he is on your screen, Troshanowski lifting the pace on the front. Gorshank, SS, Betty. Betty in that golden leaders jersey, Vidal Mare as well. They're wide across the road at the front as they start lining up for the top of the mountain. So the Category 2 race well and truly underway. Nathan Craig on our screens at the moment, on the descent at the moment. Nathan, it's so good to have you with us again today on the show, and so good to have you starting stage 4. I know there's some real racing out here. So Nathan writing a blog daily at the moment about his experiences on the Sunday Race Club. Yesterday it was battling with Bjorn. I can see Bjorn just behind him there, 3 places behind him. Tim Sharp is behind him as well. Stephen Stolk just 10 seconds ahead. So there's a rider in sight for Nathan to keep his eyes on as well. What I love all the way through this championships is these, the commitment of our riders. It is a real decision to join us for the Sunday Race Club, but for also the MyWhoosh Championships. And Nathan Craig making that decision and joining us. He's not raced the Sunday Race Club, which is a huge leap into the unknown, but riders still around him, which is fabulous to see. And they will be shifting and changing on GC as well. Now, David Nitko on your screens at the moment as he gets up and out of the saddle and takes his turn on the front of this Category 2 pack. The work is on here. Gorshank, Nuki, Nitko, Krasnich, Guerra, Theme, Mare, all coming to the front of the Category 2 pack now as we really start to see the riders getting distanced off the back. This now is attritional in Category 2. Let's just remind ourselves, you know, overall in Category 2, when we came into today, it was a massive group of riders on GC with a very small amount of time between them. 37 seconds separated the top 19 riders on GC when we came in today. There's still 28 riders at least in this group. if not more. The Category 2 race is so close and so tight. This is the second time up the climb. There is one more ascent of the Dragon's Fury climb in Bhutan to go. I think we'll really see the pack split then. This more for me is about just dropping 1, 2, 3 riders. The more riders they can drop, the better. But this is not about the winning move yet. So you can see them on the slopes at the moment on the map down below.
Yeah, just I'm really interested to see how this plays out. You can see the positions here of Gorjank just up near to the top of the summits. Nicolas Fournier being distant, and that's not something you would normally expect to say of a rider of the class of Nicolas Fournier. But Fournier losing ground on today's stage here in that Category 2 race. He went through, he was about 2:47 down at the last sprint. So I think work to be done. It gives you an idea between the top and the bottom. Nuki to Fournier was just shy of 3 minutes coming into the climb, and that gives you an idea, a really good representation of how long and how far apart on the climb you are for 3 minutes gap. Nuki leading this race out at the moment on the front. 8 watts per kilo. Let me say that again.
There he
8
is.
watts per kilo. And what I love about Ivan Nuki, he generates it in style. He's not out of the saddle, ragging the bike around. He's spinning, because remember that power is not just about the strength that you put the pace down. It's about how you rev the wheels round as well. It's about getting the repetition. And he's doing that. 91 revs per minute at the moment. And he's off the front here. Nuki motoring his way up towards the top for the UAE clan team here. Gorjank, SS, Guerra, and Kamadeva behind him. Overall, SS leading the points competition. If Nuki can take away big points at the top here from everybody else and make them chase, that leaves it better positioned for SS's teammate.
Yes, it does indeed. But Nuki pushing towards the top, and there's no response from behind. They're still tapping their own rhythm here. There's the push from Nuki and the climbing competition, and there's the overall competition. And I think with SS having tallied up so many points early on, the rest of these have all got their eyes on the overall at the moment. Things may change, but at the moment, Ivan Nuki is doing the business, and he's going to go underneath the banner in 1. So Nuki goes underneath the banner and picks up 15 points in that climbing competition. SS goes through in 2. Tell you what,
he nearly missed that,
work, isn't it?
Nearly missed that, because Trujillo was going through as well. There was Trujillo and SS side by side there. Look at the time difference between them, next to nothing.
Yeah, I know, absolutely next to nothing. But Nuki, SS, Trujillo, Hoyos, and Trushinowski go through as the top 5. But 36 riders confirmed in that leading group. And I'm just checking how far it is from the front to the finish, or should I say the front to the back of the group. 5 seconds, absolutely nothing. And I'm still keeping my eye on the fact that Phil Graves is right at the back of the group, and so is Peter Milostic.
Let's run across from Category 2, who have just gone over the summit of the Dragon's Fury climb for the second time, down onto the slopes where Jason Osborne was just on the front of Category 1, winding it up. However, Jones closing down onto the wheels. They're at the 33.2 kilometer. And I think there's just a little bit of safe riding going on here, as we just see Pavel Skierski, the leader in the Young Riders competition, with those white sleeves to the leader's jersey, being reabsorbed into the group after being on the front here. Panizza tucked into this group, just moves up alongside. You can see him out of the saddle here, making sure he can keep as much pace on at the moment as they come up here. Big kicks, big climbs, big push every time they come on here. You can't get dropped too far down this group. Skierski comes off the front. At the moment, when the riders are coming off the front, they are dropping back like a Led Zeppelin. They need to get themselves back up to the top. They need the stairway to heaven, and not the big descent. This is really a case. Make sure that you tap out the rhythm. Fryer is in here, and I tell you something, he's climbing great.
Well, he is, and we had 28 riders at the sprint at the base. We've got 16 riders now. A number of riders dropped from this group, including Bjorn Andreasen and Hayden Pucker. So 16 riders left at a pretty much, well, we're around the halfway point on this course, not far off in this Category 1 race. Neil Fryer doing a brilliant job here, pushing back into the pack in that Masters Leaders jersey at the moment, and doing a great job of getting back into the mix.
Category 1, left-hand side of your screen. The last riders out of the pen, currently at 34 kilometres covered. Right-hand side of your screen, leaders on the road. The first riders out of the pen, making their way up the climb. They're at 55.8k. So they are on the slopes of the final climb as Category 1 are on the midway climb here at the moment on the MyWhoosh Championship. It is stage number 4 of 7. Rest day for some riders coming on the Sunday when the Sunday Race Club comes to you as normal here on MyWhoosh on the YouTube channel and on Twitch TV. Make sure you subscribe to get notified when we go live for that. Myself, Matt Payne and Emma Martin putting words to the action from the broadcast team, and we'll be watching a lot of these riders in action because not everybody will take a rest day, although I would question the wisdom and perhaps sanity of
it's the smallest women's field on the Sunday Race Club this year.
Not surprised. No. So many are racing. So on the championships here across men's and women's races, just so not surprised. Now let's go into the race here. Lucas Pettit, Nicholas Spratt, and Junior Alberto Pence went clear. They've got the gap. It was Spratt and Pettit. Pence is with them.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
Yeah, really has worked hard, and that gap behind. I mean, we're talking. It's oscillating because they're on this little dip. We need them to stabilize. I'm not going to tell you what the time gap is because I know it will be wrong until we see the chasers come out of that same dip.
They're nearly halfway up the final climb. And Spratt, Pence and Pettit are doing an absolutely phenomenal job of working together, the three of them. This is a massive GC move as well as the climb competition going on. And Lucas Pettit, the golden jersey wearer, is in the move. Spratt and Pence, it is fabulous, fabulous racing. Just doing a double check here. It's looking like it's around 300 meters on the climb that they have. But 300 meters of up is a big time gap.
So 28 seconds. I knew it was going to change because what we got is we've got dips and rises between the groups initially, and that changes the calculation that's made because this is a live time check going on at the moment. It's not a case of when rider X goes past lamppost 47, they're X number of seconds ahead of the next rider who goes through as the clock stops. This is a calculation of distance and speed that gives you the time gap. But of course, then if the speed wildly varies, i.e. somebody's on a big downhill and somebody's on a big uphill, then it totally sends that time check askew. But it's looking like it's about 30 seconds, that gap back from our leading duo to the group behind. Lenny Greg Cadabona tapping on the pedals here, just looking to get this group into gear. Behind him, Luke Kendall now starting to respond. So is Santiago Arcila. You can just see that. But they've really got to keep pushing on as they come up. Luke Kendall is looking very, very controlled here. And you look at him, second from the right here. He's sat there just having a little look, check on the phone, just going to wipe the screen here. At the same time, he's marking the moves of the chasing group and looking at who's going up the road, who's coming back down again. Where is this going? Luke Kendall at the moment with Santiago Arcila, the two riders who've broken away from the chasing bunch, or the chasing group as it is at the moment, trying to bridge across to the two leaders. That would make 4 in front, and that is more dangerous. I think I'm not taking anything away from the class of Spratt and Pettit, but I think realistically, given what's in front of them, they want to be a group of 4 rather than a group, at the front, and the chasing group behind don't want them to be a group of 4. There were 2 riders they were chasing.
Well, interestingly now, at the 36.2 kilometre marker, the Category 1 group are over the top of the climb for the second time. They've gone through as a group of 16. Jason Osborne came out from the bunch to pick up the points. Lyndon Milostic picked up the second place points again. Stefan Van Elst this time takes third place. Power takes fourth and Dont takes fifth. So a little bit of a jiggle around there, which makes it very, very interesting in terms of points in the climbing competition, but Jason Osborne's still out front. The rest of the riders in the group, let me just give you a call as to which 16 have made the selection. Osborne, Milostic, Van Elst, Power, Dont, Skierski, Pedersen, Fryatt, Vujasin, Kaminski, Jones, Harris, Panizza, Thrall, Turek, and Paradians. So that means that today on the stage, the final bosses, the Venga Boys, the Alpha Jaw Space Cowboys, ZDR2, those 4 teams all in contention today still, with enough riders in the pack.
And today will be really instrumental in shaping the competition moving forwards, because it's selection, it's almost like a knockout competition. As we go through the stages in the mountains, more and more teams will be knocked out of being in contention, because 1 or 2 or even all 3 of their riders will lose too much time. They'll lose big time gaps. The gaps open and then they're out of that competition. It will leave us, our top teams, battling it out. In Category 2, we just saw Mr. X100 on the front, just driving along this flat section, of course, at 42.9 kilometers. They're down off the summit of the Dragon's Fury. They've done their full descent. They're on the flatlands at the bottom before they go onto the climb to complete lap number 2 of 3 here today on the MyWhoosh Championships, stage number 4 for 2026. We have really been treated today to some fantastic racing already. Now, I'll lead us on the road now, making the way very much into the last few hundred meters of the last ascent of the Dragon's Fury climb. Top of the climb, you can see it's going to be Kroos, who's gone clear at the front of the race, just looking to stretch his legs out. He was inside the leading group all day. He's now gone on to the front. He's got a little bit of a gap here. Is it enough to hold to the finish? It's a long way. It doesn't sound far, 400 meters.
It feels it.
It's going to feel it today. The banner's in sight, though. You can see it, and that, I think, is what makes this finish so much harder. That after this climb, you can see the banner from a long way out. We were in with Jean Calderon at the moment. John just tucked at the back of this group as we start to see Emil Ivanov now starting to open up. He's leading the climbs competition. He's looking to make this more secure at the top. Quickstrom has been the man who's been challenging in second, Simil in third. It's Simil and Quickstrom the other way round at the moment. They're pushing on to Ivanov's wheel. They can't go over the top. So Ivanov taking away the honours at the top there. But the rest of it, as they go over the top, it really, really is very tough stuff. As they go over the top there, you can see Zimiel taking the points in second after Ivanov and after Quickstrom. So Quickstrom at the moment, 10 points garnered from that, 12 to Zimiel, 15 for Ivanov. They're the top 3. Behind them, Skierski taking 8 and Rademacher, defending champion, taking 5 points.
Yeah, he's in the group, and that BMC 6 rider will want to be right in position at the end of the race today. He's got company, he's got teammates in that leading group of 15 riders. He's got Dylan Kennett. He's also got Calderon as well. So there are 3 BMC 6 riders in this leading group. In terms of the other teams, the other team with a full component of riders in there is Level Kevlar. There's Smithson, Cruz, and Vedvoda, those 3 riders in that leading group. So just 2 teams having 3 riders each in that leading group of 6. That's going to help them on the run into the finish and to get them to place one of their riders in the top spot today.
It is. I was just taking a little bit of a look through our groups and where they are out on the road. We're just in with Category 3. Today has been very much situation as normal. We just see Morgan going through on the front of the group. Chicors, Manarelli and co just making their way up towards the line. Chicors is going to get that little bit of a stretch on the group there ahead of Manarelli, followed by Ivanov and Banic. We'll just have to wait for the computers to confirm those positions. But at the moment, Morgan, the rider who's gone through, he's got 14 seconds on Chicors, 18 seconds on Manarelli. But a race at the moment which is relatively static in the sense there's a lot more riders, with 36 riders still in contention.
They're about to go into the base of that climb.
They need to start breaking it up.
Well, I think the climb is going to break it up, but I do think you're going to see riders potentially, you know, like Category 6, it come down to a 20-rider field. It's come down to a 3-rider field in Category 5, and that gap has gone out now. So Lucas Petter, Nicholas Spratt, and Junior Alberto Pens in Category 5. Now up and over the Dragon Fury climb.
I love the get to work, guys.
For the last time, and the call comes to work because the pack are coming from behind, being led by Luke Kendall, side by side with one of the Category 1 riders, actually. But the gap over the top, these 3 riders are on for GC today, and potentially they could take some big wins in GC, the Petter, Spratt, and Pens, should they keep it going.
Petter already leading in that jersey. He, in theory, he's the rider with the most to gain from this, in that he could extend that lead. However, for me, I think the bunch, there's a big group here. You know, this is relatively big. It's 7, 8 riders in that group. So they're chasing. They've got double the numbers from the group in front. I think it's showing us 54 seconds, but I'm not sure that I would trust those numbers because the leaders are already into the descent and doing probably 60, 70k an hour compared to the riders here doing near 40k an hour. So it changes the time gap.
Yeah, the time check is 39 seconds at the top of the climb. But that's still a good time check because the bunch may well start looking at each other a little bit more and, you know,
lot at stake to just hesitate. Lot at stake to hesitate.
But let's not forget, there are teammates in the group behind of the riders in front. Loxley and Cadabona, 2 teammates of Nicholas Spratt.
Now, let's go to the Category 2 race where we've got Vidal Mare at the moment on the front doing 5 watts per kilo off the flat plateau down into the descent. We are a stretch away.
We are a stretch
from the
away.
sprint. Yeah, we're not. It's not doable.
It's just over 4k away.
Yeah, but Matt, this is Vidal Mare. This is not just anybody. This is Vidal Mare. The legend is Vidal Mare. I think he has got the chance. He's leading in the sprints competition. It's not like he's going to lose it if they all come past him, but he's got the chance now to make it hard for everybody on the climb. Maybe take some sneaky time.
Well, if everybody responds to him, it's
they think he's going for the sprint and actually just keeps on going.
Well, at the moment, Aidan Sinclair just keeps on going. He's on the climb at the moment in Category 4. He's side by side with Noel Batty. So Batty coming back to the bunch may not have been a great move. Arthur Corbani, now on the top of your screen alongside Sinclair and Batty, starts to move. Now, this young Brazilian rider I was expecting to see come to the fore today and tomorrow. He's not been at the fore over the first 3 days of the competition, but he really is now starting to come into his own.
And as we've gone over the climb, I think this is really telling. This now is where we're starting to see him make his move. He's doing it on the last time. And to some degree, we can say the same about Aidan Sinclair. Amazing, guys. Thank you so much. All 3 contenders off the front of the bunch
in the young rider competition,
in the young riders competition, and on camera. And that's what we love. We're able to show you absolutely everything from this battle at the front of the race. Batty, the rider on the bottom of your screen, leading with Sinclair, the rider just above him in the Pain Cave shot. And then you can see Arthur Corbani, the avatar that we're featuring, the rider in 3rd place at the moment on the road, the rider at the top. But the bunch has picked up the pace and it is trying to close this gap down now. I think we're going to see a little bit of a push coming on. Sinclair.
I love that. Sinclair goes, oh,
Yeah.
I'm tired. Batty takes his gloves off. Batty's working so hard. I don't think Batty thought he'd have this level of competition because this is just so close. Sinclair and Batty battling it out on the slopes here of the Dragon Fury climb in Bhutan. They roll onto the back of some of the Category 5 riders, but they just keep on going. The chase now coming behind from Panu Alalusa. And now that is a rider with a lot of experience. Arthur Corbani has brought a number of riders over, including Matteo Pino and Nicholas Orego. The group, this is tough out here.
It's absolutely brutal out here. I think Niall Batty now needs to shake off the surprise that he's got company and now think about taking those points at the top. He's not going to have a big enough gap. There's not enough road left for him to have a big enough gap to take it to the finish. It's going to be about the climb coming up on the way through. Vidal Mayer, meanwhile, he's gone for this. He's going to go through at the moment the 49-kilometer marker, which sounds great, but it still means he's got over a kilometer to the sprint. Behind him, they're kind of looking at each other. It's not, I think it's telling that the golden jersey of Josiah Betty's starting to work on the front here. And I'm just wondering in terms of team competition, is this a move in the team competition in Category 2 where Mayer of the Goats team is just trying to shake this up a little bit, but the Goat squad, I'm not sure that they're not on the back foot at the moment in terms of that team's competition. So just going to take a little bit of a check on MyWhoosh info. Just bear with me one moment, caller.
The team competition in Category 2. Going in today, it was Vuelta Panda from the UAE clan team from the Goats. 19 seconds separated the top 3 teams.
Yeah, and I am wondering whether this move by Mayer is a team competition thing where he's looking to take some of the sting out the UAE clan team coming into the climb.
Well, the Goats team are down to 4 riders because Bert Cahen didn't finish one of the earlier stages. So David Nitko can't, well, actually, Khan Cahen's out as well.
He's out as well. So they're down to 3.
Yeah, they are indeed. So Nitko, Miller and Mayer. It could be. You never know.
And that's what is happening. Mr. X100 at the moment in second place, going after Mayer. So the UAE clan team taking the bait at the moment from Mayer, who's gone off the front. He's dangling himself out there as a target to be chased. Mr. X100 is doing that, looking to bring the gap back down. But what's happening is that he's bridging across. He's nullifying the time gap that's generated in the team competition overall by Mayer. And we know that Mr. X100 can climb. So that is going to really be instrumental in how that then plays out behind Halen, Thiem, Turmerton, Bjorkland, Damsgaard. At the moment, no one is really taking up the mantle of Chief Chasing Officer.
Of Chief Chasing Officer, there you go. We're about to come into the banner at the 200-meter marker. And X100 goes over the top of Vidal Mayer. Mayer goes onto the wheel. This is the move now, probably from Mayer in terms of getting to. I'm looking at it, expecting him to pick it up, but he's not picking it up.
Well, yeah.
Okay, now he does.
Yep.
I'll tell you something. It's like almost too late, that.
He almost gave away a point there.
He did.
Oh, is this another move? Is it another attack? No, it can't be. Surely.
It's not. It's just a case of the fact that it was indeed in for the points. But those points at the sprint section, you know, one of the things is you've got to think about your timing of your effort. And Macheda goes over the top with SS Power still in the mix. Carsten and Termin and Boulanger there as well. But it is 14 seconds back to that group. So at that point on my clock, but 33 riders in that chase group, the 2 riders, Mayer and X100 out front. In terms of that team competition, on the road at the moment, the UAE clan team, the Goats team, Cycle District 2A, Vuelta Panda, the Peloton Phantoms, Team Balbina, Ali Opiomi and the Windmill Eiffel squad all have a full complement of 3 riders in that leading group.
Okay, let's I'm just going to very quickly before we dive in with our Category 6 riders coming through here. Niall Batty did take the top of the climb with Aidan Sinclair, but the group had closed right down on the heels. Panu Alalusa, along with Bergen, Pino and Co, all coming through. 5 riders going through 17 seconds clear of a chasing 11. But at the moment, within about 28 seconds, you've got what is 20 riders in Category 4, so that's still wide open. We're in with our Category 6 leaders at the moment. Michael Rademacher, defending champion, just starting to come into our consciousness now, just starting to appear more regularly on the front of the race here as they make their way along. You've got Category 1 riders a full lap behind with them at the moment, and for me, that's a really graphic illustration of the difference in time setting off. You know, 6 race fields, 10 minutes between them, 50 minutes race start difference, and that's a lap.
Well, the Category 6 riders are 1,000 metres from the finish line about now. So 1,000 metres to go, and we've got a good-sized group at the front of Category 6 at the moment. At the top of the climb, it was a leading group of 15 riders. They're intermixed with a number of the Category 1 riders, but it's a Category 6 we're looking at the moment. Jonathan Fager on your screen. Mosquera is as well. Zimiel on the front. They're punching up this climb. Now, it's exactly the same finish as the women's race. They punch over to the top of the climb, and then it's a 300-meter run to the finish line.
And remember, we're going to go into the snow line, and you can see it represented by the grey in the top right-hand side of your screen on the map. And we hit the snow before we hit the finish. It gets cold, it gets chilly, but is it going to be the upper stratosphere for Zimiel, for Fager? Rademacher currently now in 3rd place here. A big push from Rademacher now as we come into the mountains. He's in the right place at the right time. Has he lost too much time coming in? I'm not too sure that he has. This is going to be critical. Fager on your screens. Mosquera on your screens. Quickstrom leading, though. Zimiel is right in the mix. And remember, Ivanov has taken this climb as they come over the top, the Dragon Fury climb each and every time, proving he's got the climbing speed, he's got the legs, but can he make it work now?
Well, with around 350 meters to go as they start to move. Quickstrom, Rademacher, Fager, all in the mix. Jonathan Fager on your screen. You can see him sludged over those handlebars, trying to push, trying to hold on to the golden jersey. But the 3 riders are going clear at the moment. Can he do enough to stay in the leader's jersey overnight? Quickstrom, Rademacher, Zimiel. It's 4 seconds as it flattens out now. We're coming into the final 300 meters to go. It's flat now. What can Quickstrom, Rademacher and Zimiel do? Fager, 5 seconds off the back. The leader at the moment on GC in trouble here in terms of defending that jersey. Just how deep is he digging out there at the moment?
13 seconds separating Quickstrom to Fager. That's the time gap difference he's got to keep together.
Well, 13 seconds is a lot more than 5 as Quickstrom and Rademacher now go head-to-head. They see the UCI banner. Rademacher comes up and over the top. He's the defending MyWhoosh champion from 2025. He wants his first win of 2026, and he gets it today in the mountains of Bhutan. Michael Rademacher takes the win. Quickstrom comes through for 2nd place. The defending leader on the road in terms of that golden jersey, Jonathan Fager. What a ride. 7 seconds. He might hold on to that overnight. What a race from him.
Yeah, I think the heat's killing me.
Fabulous riding out there. Rademacher from Quickstrom, Zimiel, Fager, Skierski, Holtz, Ivanov.
I can't even push 300 watts.
And Vivoda for 10th place.
And by my maths, and this is only Matt's maths, it's all unofficial, and we're running on live results, remember, here in the commentary studio. Fager, I think, is going to hold on to that by still about 6 seconds, but don't take my word for it. Make sure that you go on to the mywhoosh.com/results page. If you wanted to know and comment on the chat, which I'm not going to have time to type an answer to at the moment, the answer to blue jersey, what each of the jerseys is, what's the blue jersey, you can find that on the link to the tech guide. Go onto the tech guide. You can get that at www.mywhoosh.com/events. Go to the event page, download the tech guide, everything in there.
Well, 500 metres to go in the Category 5 race, and we've still got Junior Alberto Pens locked in a battle with Lucas Pett of the 3 riders, which
I just can't get the heart rate up.
Currently sat in 3rd place, have ridden away on the climb from the rest of the race field. They are at 30 seconds. Junior Pens on your screen at the moment. Petter on his wheel in that golden jersey. He is leading GC GC at the moment, and now starts to launch his attack. What has Penn's got? What does Penn's got? What has Spratt got? Spratt is 4 seconds back, and he's going to come in fast from behind to try and close that gap down. But at the moment, Lucas Petter is showing us why he's wearing the leader's jersey in category 5. Penn's digs at 8.5 watts per kilo. He's closing the time gap down. He's doing an amazing job, but Petter goes through underneath the banner in 1. Penn's in 2. That was really, really tight racing. What a job between them as we drop back in with the pack behind. Kendall coming through for 4th, Petter for 5th, Roha for 6th.
But I feel fine. I just got nothing in there.
What a race battled out on the slopes here today. We've still got more riders making their way in towards the finish, and every second is going to count now for every one of these riders. Petter, Pence and Spratt over the line. Petter obviously holding on to the lead, but what's it going to be? Here comes Luke Kendall, though, coming up behind them. He's inside that top 5.
Hard 3 days, 4 days today.
4th and 5th.
Very hard.
Kendall, he's Loxley got pits on the line. I think Cahill has just got him on the line. Loxley's legs gave up. Oh, what a tough day at the office for everybody. Petter, Pence, Spratt, Kendall, Silla, Loxley, Petter, Rojas and the Lekfa going in. 10 riders over the line, but
I feel like I'm in a class above what I'm
really have opened up because it's 41 seconds back to Kendall on that last
time.
Go
for 45, 50 minutes.
Absolutely amazing, and really, really great racing out there in that category 5 race. And just taking a little look and look at that. Just very quickly updating. You're right, Jonathan Fager is going to keep hold of that leader's jersey by 6 seconds from Santeri Quickstrom. 8 seconds ahead of Michael Rademak, who's going to move himself up into 3rd place on GC. It's still close because Zimmel just 9 seconds back, and there is absolutely nothing in it on GC at the moment.
The heart rate should be in the 150.
Just brutal stage in Bhutan.
Oh, absolutely. Just killer. Now let's take a little bit of a look here down into category 2. We saw the riders making a move off the front. It was Vidal Mayer who had the gap. Now Mr. X100 marked him out. Mayer, though, has got X100 for company. You can see that they're on the slopes there. They have a little bit of a gap back to Phil Graves and co, but the gaps are they're 24 seconds, and we saw on our screens that differential. It's 3 minutes to get about half the climb. It's a 6 minute or to 7 minute climb up here, and that means that at the moment the representation really does show that they're relatively on top of each other, given the scale of the course, given the kilometers that the riders have covered. A gap of 20+ seconds seems a lot, but at the moment it's not big enough, I don't think, to bring this down.
No, and X100 in those blue sleeves in the Masters competition, leading that competition at the moment, working strongly on the climb. In category 4, we had Aidan Sinclair and Niall Batty clear on the climb at the 66.2 kilometre marker now, down the other side and on the run into the finish. Aidan Sinclair has company, but it's Panu Analusa, Dominic Bergin and Matteo Pino. Those are the 4 riders clear. It's a 12-second, it's just a 12-second gap back to Oliveira and Perdencini. They've then got a 20-second gap back to Arthur Core Barney. So we've got a little bit of a split here now. So 4 riders, 2 riders, main pack in the category 4 race as they come in towards the finish line today.
Sorry, I was just deep in thought. I know you can hear the cogs whirring through the microphones as we make our way in towards our race and finish. I think this gap here, I mean, Perdencini, I can't decide whether this is what we expected to see or what we would have hoped to see. I certainly don't want he hoped. He didn't want to be distanced at this stage in category 4. Let's go to category 3 here with John Janicki, one of our riders we've seen on screen regularly with Mitchell Kalman. They've got Morgan back. They've brought him back, and it's kind of been business as usual in category 3. Morgan's gone in the attack. He's staffled a load of points. Manravali's done the same, but at the moment, this group has all that action has still brought a big group
24
to the base of what will be the last time. And we're on, don't get me wrong, at the moment we're on the descent. We've still got a little bit of way to go to the climb, but I can't see anything happening in this group to break it up before we come on to our last climb.
Yeah, there's 7 kilometres of racing still to go here. Rune Bakken is the rider we're in with at the moment. 24 riders in the leading group. It was Manarelli who went over the top of the climb to pick up the points. Hjulhorst went through in third to get 10 points. He still leads that climbing competition, but it is very, very close, just 3 points separating them. Osario went through in second place, so he moves into third in that competition. But Ponzi, Skierski, Gallo, Wojciech, Corrales, Janicki, Guarin were all in the mix. Jean Janicki on your screens at the moment in that group as it stretches on the descent at the moment. They've got a little longer to descend before they hit the flat plateau, and then they start that climb to the finish line. Do you know, this is a big group coming in to that climb.
It's huge. I kind of have a habit of saying this on the Sunday Race Club, but guys, you know, this is not rehearsal. This is it. This is the first mountain stage. This is your opportunity, and you need to grasp it with both hands. This is what I mean.
Yeah.
This is a great example. Your opportunity is now. There's a smaller group. You've broken it down. Go again, because there's this. You know, even if I'm a tight Yorkshireman, there's still serious money there up for grabs, and more importantly, there's a win up for grabs. If it's going to favour you, are you going to be brave enough to take it? At the moment, Aidan Sinclair's got Panu Analusa, one of the smart riders who has a habit of coming through to take the win at the last moment, chasing him on this slope. Sinclair, Alalusa, then it's Pino Bergin, Matteo Pino. We thought would be a threat at the start of this, did say that. And I think at the moment, he's looking like he's going to be elevating himself right up at to the top of the standings. Maybe not to the very top, but he's going to be close. Aidan Sinclair, though, this is where climb goals, sprint goals, and the GC and the young rider all come together.
It does indeed. He's got 300 metres until the line now. He's got a couple of seconds on Panu Alalusa behind. Aidan Sinclair's still got a corner to turn before he sees the UCI banner. There it is. He can see it. It is in sight. This could well be the win on stage for Aidan Sinclair. There's a round of applause on the other side of the commentary box for the young rider. Aidan Sinclair takes the win today. That was one massive effort from Sinclair today. Alalusa is going to come through for second place as Sinclair just slides off his bike and onto the floor. He needs some recovery to come through there, but Alalusa comes through 2 seconds back. Matteo Pino comes through. Dominic Bergin's gone through. Nikolai Bulwara is the rider sprinting for the line for the seconds. But it is indeed seconds that count. So,
right, Giuliano, just coming in and across the line there. That's telling. That is telling him. Wow, what a ride! What a ride! And Aidan Sinclair. That shows you how hard it is, doesn't it? I mean, you know, the tales of. I always remember reading and talking to Chris Hoy. He said he did sprint intervals, and then he basically had a mattress next to him that he could lay on the floor. A bucket and a mattress were what he needed for sprint intervals. I think you're going to need at least that for Aidan.
I can tell you how close it is on GC in Category 4. These are provisional results, but provisionally Aidan Sinclair puts on the golden jersey tomorrow, ahead of Panu Analusa by 4 seconds, ahead of Dominic Bergin, Matteo Pino, Ryan Giuliano. But of course, we've still got riders coming in, but the time gaps are starting to extend, but it's very, very close at the top of Category 4.
Let's go to Category 2, where we just seen Mare and XS go over the top of the climb this time around. Meg taking maximum points over the top, 15 points for Mare, 12 for X100. Behind him, SS Peter, then Peter Molostic, and I think it's going to be David Nitko coming through. We're just going to do a double check it. Sorry, it's Stuart Miller who goes through, taking the 5 points. Mare, X100, SS, Molostic, and Miller. But just as importantly, the time gap at the top of the climb, 12 seconds between Mare and X100, from them to SS, who's the nearest chaser. There's then a group of what is 9 riders in a long, thin line. Then you're getting gaps starting to open up towards bigger groups, with Josiah Betty, the leader in the GC, coming in at the moment in Category 2. He is down in 13th position, 22 seconds down.
Well, he is, and this is the run for the line in the Category 3 race. They've still got 2.5 kilometres to go, and at the moment it is Corrales who's put an attack in off the front. He's got 6 seconds at the moment on the bunch. They've got a descent and this flat transition that they come into, and then they come to the climb. The finish line is around 300 meters from the top of the climb, and the stretch is on already.
The stretch certainly is on already. The gap is going to be important to those riders behind. I think it's going to be sufficient, but now they need to think about the race in front. We're going to go on to this ascent. We're starting to see that gradient pick up 2.5%, 2.7%, 3%. It's just going to keep on climbing. Positioning is going to be key, and so is timing. Wilson Velada, a very quick finisher in this group, but it's all about climb plus finish. It's not just a straight finish run now. You've got to get up the ascent. You've got to be able to climb, and then you need to be able to drive to the line with everything you've got. If it comes to a group sprint, this is a big group, one of the biggest groups coming in to the climb of the day. We're going to see how this is going to run. The riders, the usual suspects up at the front, and it's business as usual at the front of the Category 1 race as well. Jason Osborne has sprung clear of the group behind. It's still a big group. Now, we're coming in towards the top of the climb here. Osborne looking to take away mountain climb points, take away the prize for the most climb points on the day. He's going to get that because he's been leading as they go over the top of the climb each time. He's going to have that in the bank. Ching, thank you very much. But I think 18 seconds at the moment is not enough necessarily to stay clear of the group behind on the descent. It's a big downhill.
Ooh.
There's a lot of riders in that group, and that is the only reason I'm saying that. That is a big pack. They are not broken apart here. This is a cohesive unit there. Okay, there's a few disruptors in terms of, you know, the final boss's team members in there, but it's still relatively strong group as a group. Osborne, though, will keep pushing, and he's still got time to increase that gap. He's got another 400 meters for him. He's got another 600 meters for the riders chasing him. And because of that, I think he's going to take that out well over 30 to 35 seconds, and that might be enough, but he's got to get a big enough gap. Big kick from behind. Ruben Dunn on the chase, the eternal chaser, Ruben Dunn.
Yeah, well, he doesn't like to hang around, and he wants those points in that competition because you never know what could happen. Anything can happen in a stage race, and that's what makes it so exciting. Well, Jason Osborne at the moment is going to be the first rider in that Category 1 pack to go underneath the Dragon Fury climb banner for the 3rd time today, the final time today. Ruben Dunn's big push here is for those points. Ollie Jones, Pavel Skierski, Van Elst, Jason Osborne's teammates now starting to try and pack it, but Don kicked early enough. He really has, and Jones from the Alpha Jaw squad has gone too. So Don goes through in 2, Jones goes through in 3, Skierski, Pedersen, Van Elst, Kaminsky go through as well. It's a really strong group actually out there at the moment. So one rider clear by 16 seconds from a 12-rider chase group. In terms of the points, Osborne, Dont, Jones, Skierski and Pedersen. Can you give us the names of the rest of the riders in the group, Matt?
Yes, he says. So, yeah, let me just quickly fly through them. Osborne, Dont, Jones, Skierski, Pedersen, Van Elst, Kaminsky, Churek, Friat, Harris, Verjasin, Thrall, and Milostic. Panizza just off the back of that group by a further 30 seconds. Sorry, I was just watching the screen there for when Jason Osborne backed off the power. They went over the line 16 seconds to the good, but Osborne was at full gas going off the top, so maybe he's going for glory today.
Well, talking about full gas going off the top, this is the Category 3 pack, and they're on the run into the finish line today. They've got 300 meters to go, and it's Carlos Manarelli who is out front at the moment, and Matteo Corrales is doing the chasing with Rune Bakken. We've got Bakken, Velada, Santos, Kalman, and Yannicki on our screens, but Manarelli is the rider they are chasing. He's 3 seconds up the road. Now, Junyu Lin starts to come. The golden jersey of the leader on GC starts to motor. Oh, is he going to catch Melarelli? Is he going to go up and over the top? Is Manarelli going to go through in one? That is the question. The Category 3 pack, what a fast finish it was indeed. In that individual competition, Manarelli takes the win from Junyu Lin by 2 seconds. Rune Bakken comes through for third. Matteo Corrales in 4. Wangarin in 5th. But that group all finishing together.
And I think Manarelli's time loss, his initial time loss, that we saw him lose time early in stage 2. He was 32nd. That's cost him. That's cost him because he's able to pull. He's been pulling time gaps back. You know, I
can go at my own pace.
Really has, and
it's when you start pushing 7 watts a kilo for time.
You know, you just think he took the win on stage 1. He's just taking the win on a mountain stage.
Well, he has indeed. But Category 2 is also now getting really interesting. So Vidalmare and X100 down the road. We saw that move go. They're down the road by around 250 meters. David Nitko and Nathan Guerra on the left-hand side of your screen, on the front of the chase group, trying to do some work. It's really challenging. It's 18 seconds the gap as Nitko just waves and says hello. But Guerra, I think, would probably a call for more work to be done by more people. But those people are in the race behind. So Milostic, Damsgaard, Miller, Termerton. There's a 2-second gap to the 2 riders, Nitko and Guerra, who are trying to pull back the 2 riders down the road.
And there's a lot of overall race action unfolding here as part of the stage here in Category 2, because Guerra had really propelled himself up into contention. He finished stage 1 in 9th place. He then moved up 4 places on stage 2, another place on stage 3, up into 4th place. The overall leader, Josiah Betty, at the moment in with this pack. He's 12 seconds down on Trujillo, and he's even further down on X100. X100, remember, was the rider in 2nd place. The gap only 3 seconds separating Betty from X100.
Well, he's decided he needs to do something about it. And to close the gaps down. Currently in 12th place on the road at the moment, Trujillo is 9 seconds up the road, and that's what he needs to close down. Interestingly, Mendakowicz is the rider offering help here. Maciej Mendakowicz is a strong rider, and we know he loves a really long run to the finish. He's the perfect partner for Giselle Betty in terms of this move.
Lots of work to be done, though. Mendakowicz 8th overall, another rider losing position. Mendakowicz climbed up 23 places on the intermediate climbing stage 2, which was here as we came out. I think for me, the thing here, they're united by the potential. They're going to drop down on the GC substantially here. And that's why you're seeing the response from Betty, from Mendakowicz. They've got to work together. They've got to get this gap back down again. But I think it's going to be too little too late. The problem they've got, the riders up in front are not going to back off. And that's from Guerra right the way to Miss X100.
Yeah, and there's teammates of those riders in this pack. And that's one of the big challenges. And that's why Betty's got to do the work. Mohamed Al-Case now trying to lead this out, trying to punch across. Betty needs to get on the wheel, but with constant movement here, it's really hard on the run into the line. They've still got 2 kilometers to go here. They've got 2 kilometers to salvage seconds.
So let's see how it plays out on the road now. We've got 2 sets of riders, male and X100, right-hand side of your screen. Left-hand side of your screen, Al-Case at the moment leading the chasing bunch for the cycling district squad. Continuing to pick the pace up here, looking to pull back Trujillo and Co, who are sandwiched between himself and Miss X100 and Vidalmare, the leaders in Category 2. The Category 2 race on the right-hand side of your screen.
Well, I'll tell you something. We've got Jason Osborne in one at the 64.5 kilometre marker, around 150 metres ahead of the chase group, which has got Skierski, Van Elst, two of Osborne's teammates, Kaminsky, Pedersen in the mix. The question for me, Stefan Van Elst is in there, but is Ruben Don and Ollie Jones? Yes, they are. The mix on the road at the moment, because we've got other riders that they are catching and going past. Josh Harris not in the group, and neither is Dan Turek. Now, Turek is going to need to close this down because the AlphaJoy squad need as many riders as possible in that group ahead. Neil Fryatt, Thomas Thrall, Josh Harris are working to close it down. Some great racing from them as well.
Yeah, big chase, isn't there? The pursuers of Osborne themselves being chased by this disparate group of riders that are spread across this. It's no cohesive unit. They're going to make contact here, but they now need to keep pushing on. They want to keep that time gap down to Osborne, Skierski, Kaminsky, Fryer and co. all back together again, all chasing Osborne. But is it too little too late? How much time is Osborne going to get? He keeps eking out 10, 15 seconds a stage. It's going to add up as we go in with the Category 2 race. Mare versus the rest at the moment with Mr. X100 for company. Vidal Mare went for the long one. I said he might, and he did. It's a brave move.
Well, it is indeed, and Nathan Guerra has gone on a move from the pack behind. He's gone out in charge and in chase of Mare and X100. He's not going to make the catch, but he's trying to give himself some extra seconds on the pack behind. Mare and X100, well, they are now 500 metres from the line here. As they continue to push and continue to move, they're going to swing around the corners, and very shortly they will see that UCI banner. X100 on the wheel of Vidal Mare, the defending champion of the MyWhoosh Championships from 2025. Nathan Guerra, 13 seconds back, the best of the rest at the moment. Peter Milostic, SS, Nico, but SS and, well, the teammates out there of X100 are not going to chase this down.
Missing rider is Stuart Miller.
Vidal Mare goes underneath the UCI banner to take the win in the Category 2 race today. X100 will take second place today. The chase on behind, Jasal Betty is the rider in the golden jersey, and he too is now coming in, trying to salvage some seconds here. Guerra, Milostic, Zillard, Damsgaard, Nitko, Miller, Betty, all coming underneath the line. You can see Gal Yazbek on your screen working and rocking and rolling. Nitko drawing breath as they come across the finish line in the Category 2 race. It is indeed Mare from X100. Guerra in 3, Milostic in 4, Zillard in 5, SS in 6, Damsgaard, Nitko, Trujillo and Miller round out the top 10 today.
Mitchell in 13th place is going to find his drop down behind Nathan Guerra to lose his third place. Guerra now taking that. Mr. X100 will go over the top of Ricardo Jasal Betty to take top spot. Guerra could actually have moved himself up into second place here by that move.
No, it'll be interesting to look at the overall GC standings a little bit later. But right now, in the Category 1 race, but on the run to the finish line, Jason Osborne at the 67.1 kilometre marker has got 1,200 metres until he gets to that finish line. He's got a 20-second gap on the chase group behind. They are on the left-hand side of your screen. It's a big group that are doing the chasing. They've all come back together again. Kaminsky, Vujasin, Harris, Pedersen, Jones, Fryatt, Turek, Milostic. You know, it is a huge group, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens on that final climb in the group, because they are going to want to start to separate themselves as much as possible. Who's going to come to the fore and take second, third, fourth and fifth? Neil Fryatt is pushing on in that Masters jersey. You cannot blame him for trying as he goes to double digits. This is a sprint away from the field on this small descent now before they run into that climb. Well, Jason Osborne on the right-hand side of your screen is coming towards the last 500 metres.
Fryatt's move there, driving the power down on the descent, building the speed, picking that speed up, really looking to accelerate through there for the ZDR2 squad, there, Zero Ducks Racing 2 squad, as they come through, overtaken by Dont and Fryatt as they come off the descent and onto the climb. Jason Osborne had taken 22 seconds in the overall on Ollie Jones over the preceding 3 stages. What is he going to take here today? He's leading out on the right-hand side of his screen. Van Elst is on the left with Jones behind him. Skierski is there as well. The pace is on. They're struggling to hold the wheels in the Category 1 chasing group. They're not going to get Osborne back, but they could lose time to each other now in the finale of this stage 4 of the MyWhoosh Championships. They're pushing towards the top, and Osborne can see the line.
Well, the golden jersey of the world champion, Jason Osborne, pushes towards the UCI banner. He sees the line at the end of stage 4. Oh, what a win again for Jason Osborne. Whether it's mountains or flats, sprints or climbs, Osborne does the business. In the run in to the finish line, 300 meters to go, it's Van Elst versus Jones at the moment. Ollie Jones on your screen. Stefan Van Elst, Pedersen, Turek, Don are behind, but it's side by side, Van Elst and Jones at the moment. Van Elst is at the front, but Jones now kicks at 14 watts per kilo. Ollie Jones does the business. He does what he does best. He kicks away at the finish line and takes second place ahead of Stefan Van Elst. Pavel Skierski is battling with Ruben Dont and Dan Turek for the next spot underneath the banner, and that was a great battle between Turek and Skierski coming over the line. They are flat across their bars in their pain caves as the Category 1 race comes to fruition.
You can see the effort all over the bodies of the riders as they lean over those handlebars. Osborne taking away a 25.734 second lead from this stage as we go away from stage 4. Just from this stage alone, more time taken in this stage than he'd taken in the 3 preceding stages put together. He's more than doubled his lead over Ollie Jones. Jones close, but no score at the moment. Van Elst in third, Skierski, Dont, Turek, Fryatt and Co chasing. You can just see at the moment the riders coming in one by one. Thrall, Harris and Milostic now over the line. That covers you your top 13 riders at 47 seconds covering them as they came in through the finishing line. Vidal Mayer on your screen is leading in the Category 2 race with Mr. X100 behind him, and then Guerra getting a 5-second gap on Milostic. A 6-second on Zigard. SS also on the same time. Damsgaard not far behind. So great riding in all of our categories as we come in to the finish here today. What a stage 4 we've had, Emma. I mean, I was looking forward to this stage. I think it has exceeded all of the expectations here today. I can't imagine that it's ever going to be as good as that, but we've got potentially an even better stage tomorrow. So I don't know. Today just sort of, it's blown me away.
Well, I have to say, coming into today, looking at the maps on Bhutan, I would never imagine we were calling 20 up sprints, but we were. It was absolutely outstanding, you know, and the cat and mouse out there, the strategy, the tactics, the fact that those bunches stayed together tells me that the riders are considering the team competition. They're not putting in attacks. They're playing things a little bit more safer to make sure they pack the numbers in that teams, and that's the main focus on the race at the moment. It's just amazing. I mean, look how close it was. In Category 6, Rademacher from Quickstrom, 0.39 of a second. Zimio 2 seconds back. It was absolutely superb.
Yeah, I'm just looking through the results and just sort of working out those targets. Amazing to see Rademacher 17th on stage 1. He then moved up 10 places, dropped a place, up 5. The defending champion coming in the mountains, ominous for everyone else.
I think
and you can see also the way that mountain competition is played. Quickstrom and Zimio, Fager in, they're all showing they're strong on the climbs, but they couldn't go clear. Even also leading that climbs competition, doing a great job inside that top 10.
And BMC 6 holding on to the lead in the team competition. It's a 2-minute gap now back to level Kevlar, but we've got another big day in the mountains tomorrow.
Let's move on
I mean, I looked
to
at the numbers.
category 5, where
They're
Lucas
all up
Better
there.
showed just why
So I
he's
don't
leading
know.
out the overall
I don't know what to do.
competition. Junior
They
Pence
just,
sitting in
you
behind.
know,
He took a
finishing at the back half of the pack
1.327
every
second
time.
deficit to
Seems
Better.
very unfair.
Spratz, the
You know, all the same guys
mathematician,
are finishing
in
up the front.
third place. And in terms of
Considering
the
if I was in Cat
GC
3,
overall,
I
it
wouldn't be
puts
winning
them,
it.
that's your top
There's
3
plenty
at
of
the
people in
moment.
Cat
Blue
3 that
Kettle
are
in
better
fourth.
than me.
I know, it's amazing. The team competition,
that's
the
a hard
gaps have
pill to
really
swallow
started
for
to
the
open.
amount of
Virtual
effort I'm
Velocity
going
are
through.
well clear by 9 minutes of Whoosh. You were here.
Like really,
But the battle for second and third is really close. There's just 27 seconds separating Whoosh. You were here from Road Brazil
That's on me, really,
ZTBR.
because I was
So
that
those
third
teams are going to be
rider,
battling out
and
there
I
tomorrow.
finished
Now, category 3 coming up, and
3
we
minutes,
saw
4
that
minutes
run
nearly
for
behind.
the
Let's try
line.
Cat 4 first, shall
Sorry,
we?
category 4. My apologies.
4.5
Category
minutes
4. That's only numbers I'm
behind.
getting wrong. There's nothing new there.
Like if I'd have
Aidan
finished
Sinclair coming in over the
with
line.
our
No,
first place
it's because I'm
rider,
blown
we'd
away
have
by
been,
the ride by Sinclair. He
we'd have
came
been
in
in the
ahead of
prize
Panu
money.
Andalusia, and again, a bit like Rademacher, a rider that we know
I just
suddenly
couldn't hold on
starts
over
to
the
come
top of
good the
that
moment we
second
come on
climb.
these climbs. He's been holding his powder dry. He moved up on the last climb in stage 20
you don't know
places.
why.
He's moved up another 5
You think I'll
today.
just push a bit harder,
That is
but
ominous.
Yeah, it
there's
is,
nothing
and
there.
a young rider as well. You know, absolutely brilliant there. And again, just look how close it was. 35 seconds separating the top 10 riders through on that stage today. In the team competition, Cycle District 4A are the top team at the moment. But when I tell you how close this is, hold on to your hats. 8 seconds. Cycle District 4A from the BMC Anzacs. It's just 1 minute and 5 seconds back to Pedal Club. 1 minute and 29 seconds back to Level Golden 4. There are still 10. Well, still 10. There's still 4 teams in this for me at the moment.
Can we go to category 3 now?
Yeah, let's do that.
Go on then. Okay, category 3 now. In with Carlos Manarelli. Carlos Manarelli, the rider taking that away. We saw him. He would clearly. He took a couple of the climbs by going clear on the front. He took away the win here by 2 seconds from Yu Yun Lin. Yu Yun Lin, absolutely great riding by him. He's not always at the front of the race, but when it matters at the end of a stage, he is. And he really, I think it's wise head on young shoulders there. Absolutely brilliant riding by him. Back and coming to the fore here, which is really interesting to see as well. It's one of the few races where we've got the top 3 riders very similar. Yu Young Lin leading, Cahill in second, and Skiski in third. You know, they're still hovering. It's not broken them today.
No, well, and you know what the really interesting thing for this is? We were talking about how close this